Alright, everyone. It is time to talk about things. We gotta talk. Gotta talk about a couple things. Obviously, I haven't done my build videos, so that's one thing we gotta talk about, as you can see. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and record it on the stream. Get that done and over with. Before we really get too started, though. How y'all doing? Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Nell being first as per usual. Let's see here. Alita Wolf, Blazer, Abyssal, Heartstrike, Henry, Jin, Celtic, Blazer, Heart. Yeah, no, wow, a lot of people. Dang, cool. Takes notes. Appreciate you, Celtic. I honestly am astonished you're even here. Time zone is completely different. Don't get in trouble at work. Like, seriously, don't get in trouble at work. I don't need that on my conscience. Okay. So, like the thumbnail says, we do have a couple things to talk about. But I'm sure 90% of people do want to go ahead and just, you know, get they probably want the builds, so I'm probably gonna just go ahead and get those builds done, and then we can relax a little bit, and we can start talking, just relaxing afterwards, and I can more relax because I've been sitting here dawdling over the freaking builds for the last 2.5 days now, and I just honestly want to get them done and over with, if I'm being honest. Love the build videos. They've been super helpful since you got back. Appreciate you. I'm glad they help. Joe build guides to sleep. Whew, I could use that. I could use that a lot. How to go to sleep. Yes, I could definitely use that. I think we all really could, probably. But yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get everything set up to record the normal stuff, and then after I get my recordings done, we'll just go ahead and I'll wipe everything off the screen and we'll just kind of chill. So the stream avatars are up. I'm just gonna remove them for the sake of the recording. But thank you all for popping in and talking and everything. We'll get those all on there, and we'll play a game or something. Probably not gonna play Dokkan, but I'm definitely going to definitely play a game or something. Chillax, relax. So. First I gotta figure out why this isn't popping up. That's weird. Of course, the one time I want to try and do something. Let's see here. There's something in front of it? Let's see here. If it weren't for the Fizz LRUI, plus I'd be hurting for Realm of Gods even more. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would be struggling without that. Not gonna lie. There it goes. That's weird. I wonder why it took forever to pop up. Recorded yours a few days ago before getting Beerus. Yeah. See how our builds differ. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at your builds. I really have not, so I try to keep myself away from other people's thoughts and opinions on building units before I record the videos, so. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it differs. You probably people already see the Godku floating around on the screen right now, so. Alright, so we gotta switch the music, I'm sorry. No more Beerus music. We're going to go and grab Goku's music. Let's see here. Yep, that's the intro. That's his intro. And there's his active. Okay. Let me go get a couple other things here. What the heck? Jin just came out of nowhere with that. The smug beers. Oh crap. All right. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna record over this. We'll do God Goku first. Probably take a short little intermission on that point and talk for a second, and then I'll do the Beerus build, and we'll get that all set up, and henceforth and so forth. And yeah, we'll get to talking after that. So hopefully y'all can stick around. I'm not gonna pay attention to the chat until I'm done with the recording. So appreciate y'all. But yeah, just look at this as a live how-to build, essentially. I will upload it afterwards, once the stream is over, and henceforth and so forth. Oh wait, crap, hold on, my tea. My tea! Had a nice cup of tea and everything, and the smell was all great, and then I walked by, and the cat box, and the pooping, and the freaking dead Jesus. Okay. Where was I? Right. Okay. Okay. Last answer to question since before recording. It is blackberry sage tea. Basically, it's just freaking black tea, fruity black tea. So, anyways. Okay. Let's get to recording this and get it done and over with. I'm going to try and go through it as quickly as possible, even though it usually takes me like 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to try and get that down to like 10 at best. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I should probably lower the volume a little bit. That's too low. There we go. That'll work. Okay. Yeah. Alright everyone, it is Dokkan time again, and today's how-to build video is going to be for the new Super Saiyan God Goku. And honestly, I kind of like him. He's cool, at least. He's super cool. But I do have a couple things about him that I do want to make sure everybody knows about. You know, other than the fact that I'm late on this video. But anyways. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joe Saiyan. I'm a Saiyan bald man. I make Dragon Ball videos and Dokkan builds. If that sounds good to you, hit the like and subscribe button, and we're just going to go ahead and get into it. So, we're going to go through the breakdown, defense, and then we'll go through build suggestions and role tips. And this one's going to be a little bit of an oddity because normally I will tell you where to get the equipment orbs, but for Goku, I don't actually suggest them too much. I'll explain in a little bit, but anyways. So, as far as 200% leader options go, he does have technically quite a few teams, and I do mean like a crap ton of teams. Personally, I don't think he still belongs on too many of them. He is a little bit restricted, so you have to follow the restrictions a little bit. But let's just get into his kit. His leader skill is Realm of Gods, Miraculous Awakening, Power Wishes, Key +3, HP 200%, 170 attack and defense, and then 220 in total for Legendary Existence, Bond of Friendship, or Movie Heroes Allies. Honestly, it's not the worst 220 leader skill, but it does have a little bit of, how do I put this? There's not that many LR options on here. I mean, there's enough, but I don't know. Once you actually look through the actual list of characters that are available on the 220 specifically, it doesn't seem like it's that many, and it's really not. But he does have obviously plenty of other characters that'll only be supported up to 170 on attack and defense, of course. So that is something to keep in mind. His 12 key is greatly raising attack and then raising defense for 4 turns. So that's a 50% raise on his attack and 30% raise on his defense for 4 turns only. Essentially what this means is that you carry over your stacks of the turn that you have used them. So turn 1, you get, say, a double super. So turn 3, you'll come around and you'll still have the stacks from those 2 attacks. But once he goes back around on turn 5, you will lose those 2 stacks and you only have what you had acquired from your super attacks on that turn 3. Now, passive skill. Intro activate when there is another Realm of Gods ally on the team. The only thing I like about this is that it's on the team specifically. It doesn't have to be on the same rotation, so it does mean that you don't need to necessarily run like a full Realm of Gods team. So that little bit of less restriction is always nice in my personal opinion. This does give him attack and defense of 510 freaking % and a damage reduction rate of 20% for 1 turn. So he will lose quite a bit of stats after turn 1. And you'll feel the same way with Beerus, of course, because they are pretty similar. But yeah, the only thing that stays from his intro is the free additional super. Basic effect is Key +2, attack and defense 300%, 20% dodge, 30% crit and damage reduction rate. And this one's a little bit of a annoying one. Per pure Saiyans, say per pure 10 times fast. Per pure Saiyans and or hybrid Saiyans ally on the team, attack and defense 100% up to 300. So for the stats, you only need 3 of either of these on the team. But to get the dodge chance, you need 10% per ally, which is up to 60%, which is a full team. What this does mean is that aside from a friend or your own leader, you do need a full team of pure Saiyan or hybrid Saiyan allies to actually get the full dodge chance. The other thing to notice here is that, well, it's before attacking, meaning that you only have that 60% chance to dodge before attacking, not after. Meaning that the only dodge chance you have after is this 20% right here. Now moving on. When attacking, 200%. When receiving an attack, 250%. That's like the beef of his actual defense, by the way. When the character or an ally in the same turn is KO'd, if all allies attacking in the same turn are Realm of Gods category characters, or KO'd if there are 6 or more pure Saiyan or hybrid Saiyans category allies on the team in total, revive with 50% HP. So this is the part that it does make him restricted. So although his intro is not restricted to this necessarily, it does mean that if you want to be able to get the intro off, you do need to have a full team of Realm of Gods, or you do need to have a full team that is all pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans. This does make it a little annoying, not gonna lie. It should, in theory, count towards the friend leader. I mean, honestly, I don't remember if it does count the friend leader or not. Typically in missions, it never counts the friend. When like say you go to do a mission and it says you need to bring 6 pure Saiyans, it won't count the friend as the pure Saiyan. It never counts it. The same thing goes with those typing missions. It doesn't count the friend as part of that restriction. So I don't know if this passive counts the friend. I think it does count the friend. So theoretically, you could still put peers on the team. And it just means that you'd have to have, well, obviously another God Goku lead. So anyways, after the character or an ally's revival skill is activated, infinite attack and defense 510%, meaning that it just stays. So you basically got that 510% you lost from your intro after the first turn. And then chance of evading enemies attack by 20% within the character's next attacking turn. And then chance of evading enemies attack by 30% when attacking starting from the character's next attacking turn. So there's some weird keywording here, and I'm sure some people didn't even realize it, but this right here, the word within, means that it's only going to activate one time. So this part of his revive, the chance of dodging by 20% specifically, will only happen on basically his next appearance, which should be right after he revives. So although yes, this does technically mean he's going to basically have 100% chance to dodge before attacking, which is great. That's fantastic. But you will lose that 20%. The 30%, however, does stay. So you do get that extra 30% when attacking, starting with the character's next attacking turn. But the only thing that does is it essentially just gives you a 50% chance to dodge after attacking. So yeah, I mean, he's got 80% dodge chance before attacking and 50% dodge afterwards. That's not bad. It's not terrible. I still would prefer it to be higher. I wish it was higher. But it is what it is. Now, after the character's revival skill is activated, he'll get an attack of 150% when attacking one time only. The thing to keep in mind of this is that this right here only activates after Goku revives, specifically. It does not activate if, say, you throw him into a Bond of Master and Disciple team. If future Gohan revives, Goku doesn't get this. He'll get this, but he won't get this. It's not a big deal. It's just a nice extra sum of damage. So it's not like game breaking or anything. And it is only for the first appearance, essentially. So it's not a bad thing, but it would be nice to have just included that into it. Anyways, active skill Limit Breaker, greatly raising attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage, attacks effective against all types, and guaranteed to hit. Now, y'all know how I feel about attacks effective against all types, or at least people that have watched the majority of my videos and streams. I don't like attacks effective against all types. It was fine back in the day. In fact, I'll go as far as to say it was fine up until about roughly the 8th anniversary, maybe 9th. After that, we started getting into a point where you kind of need crit to do damage. You really do. Crit just does so much more. We have too much damage reduction now. We have too much to push through at this point to actually needing the crit to be able to bypass. Attacks effective against all types is just type effective damage, essentially. So it's a little bit more. It is, technically speaking. But no matter what, when you compare it to crit does more damage overall. A lot more damage. So I don't know why they couldn't have just given him crit right here. I don't know why it had to be attacks effective against all types. But yeah. It can be activated after the character's revival or starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. So you don't have to revive to use this, but it will be available if you revive or after the 5th turn. Links-wise, he is a God Goku, so he's going to have both Over in the Flash and Prayer for Battle, Warrior Gods, and Godly Power. Nice little bit of extra crit chance right there. That does put into, that 5% goes into here. So it essentially means he has 35% chance to crit if you have that activated. Not a lot. That's not a lot of crit. It's a very low crit amount for me. Link-wise, he's going to obviously link very well with other God units, blue Gokus, blue Vegetas, Ultra Instincts. In fact, I would argue to say this is probably his best partner. Yeah, just because of the support, honestly, with the Fizz UI, it's just going to be his best partner. Otherwise, it's pretty plain and simple. Put gods with gods. Be among the gods, if you will. But anyways. So the equipment. Yeah, the equipment. Pausing the recording right here. Because we're gonna... I didn't make an actual template for this. Because I chose not to, because I don't really suggest these. All the way down here, yep. Boop. Okay. So, if you do want to get Goku's equipment, you will have to go into the all-out, seriously serious all-out battles too. I still think that name is dumb. And the only way to actually acquire it is if you finish the first... You finish the first difficulty and you'll get the bronze equip, which is going to be a level 900 defense orb. This I do suggest equipping to Goku. This is perfectly fine and great unless you grind the crap out of the Whis event and get a higher level, unless you get a higher level defense. But then the silver orb, which would be the next difficulty, the hardest difficulty for the fight, would be just for a level 3 skill orb and an attack level 6. The attack is nice. The attack is 1200, but only a 6% increase rather than a 10% on the additional really is annoying. I still do not understand why they do this. I really have no freaking clue, other than to give you an excuse to go and grind the Whis event. It's so absurd. You can replace this with a better one. Either give him a level 5 additional, or just grind the Whis event and get a level 6 or 7. Actually, I don't think there's a 6. I think it only goes up to 7. So get a 7 if you can on the additional or dodge, depending on the build suggestion. And then for the gold equip, you will have to finish that last stage, which is stage 6, on the hardest difficulty of Super 2, with 6 Realm of Gods category characters on the team. With that, they will give you a critical gold orb, which is a level 6, and a defense orb that's a level 3, which is an extra 900 defense. If you're going for the more damage focused build with Goku, then this is probably a good orb for you. You can use this, there's nothing wrong with that. Fine, good orb. But personally, I'm probably not going to use it if I do get him with 2 dupes. I'm not going for crit on him, because if you understand how I judge units, I don't judge units based on how I want to use them. I judge them based on how they are designed to be used, and what they're lacking and what their weaknesses are, and what's going to actually make them get me through the fight. And well, I have no dodge luck, so yeah. But anyways, it's a good orb. You can definitely use it. I'm sure majority of people are going to equip all 3 of these orbs. There's nothing wrong with equipping all 3. It's perfectly fine, especially if you're not the type of Dokkan battler to actually be grinding excessively on the Whis event and getting better orbs. If you don't do that, it's perfectly fine. Just use all 3. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to defense. These are going to be compliments of Bloodraven over on Twitter. I'm going to try to give you a couple of them here. We'll start off with the 55%. This does mean that you will only have a defense orb of bronze, level 9. So looking at these numbers here, I'm just going to look at 2 points of this. We're going to look at the phase 2 support. Where's my pointer? Pointing fingers. 55%. With 60% support, so assuming that you have either off-rotational support or on-rotational support of 60%, and also having the full passive working, start of turn defense can get up to about 1 million. Not terrible, not bad start of turn defense. On Super, it can get from 1.3 to 1.4. The parentheses on here, that is specifically with the equipment. If you don't have the equipment, it would only be 1.3, but 1.4 or otherwise. If you get a double Super, which you can, it's free, 1.6 to 1.7, fine. If you magically get the hidden potential off at 55%, which would be no more than 10%, or what would it be? Level 5 is 10%, level 10, 20%, 20% chance to actually go off there on that triple. You could potentially get up to 2 million. In that case, if you actually triple super and then you get attacked, you could be at 4.8 million defense But if you have the level 9 defense equip, you could go up to 5.3. That is a huge increase, honestly, just from the level 9. That's, what, almost 500k increase? So getting extra defense on this guy will go pretty nicely. But this is only 5.5 million. That's not a lot. He's got 30% damage reduction. He's got no guard. So, I mean, you're dead, essentially. An 8 million super kills you on this in this instance. But turn 1, that would be the only time you really got to worry about it, unless you're floating Goku off. If you float Goku off, you're probably using him wrong, not to be rude, but yeah, the first turn you're not going to have to worry about it, because you're going to have this extra 20% damage reduction here, and hopefully that 50% damage reduction, well, that basically means you can tank a 10 million super. Not too many fights in the game start off with more than 10 million, but, you know, if you did only get a double super, I would probably chunk that down to around a 9 million super you could potentially tank. It just all depends on how heavily supported you are, and henceforth and so forth. But if we go into a little bit higher numbers here with actual stacks and so forth, remember, you lose 510% defense here. So even in the same scenario on the second turn, 60% support, everything, ally restriction, 3 defense stacks from that previous turn, you're still having a good 800k less defense. So at that point, it doesn't matter because you want to revive anyways. So let's just go ahead and look at the revive. So once you revive and get that back up there, you have 3 defense stacks from the previous turn. You triple super again. You got to realize this is the maximum potential possible scenario here. It is not likely you're going to hit this at every single turn. So try to adjust accordingly that you can. But basically, you triple supered 2 turns in a row, and you revived, and you have 60% support. With ally restriction, you can be up to 7.9 million defense with 30% damage reduction. You can probably just about barely tank a 10 million super out of that with a 30% damage reduction. One less stack there is going to be about roughly a 500k to 800k difference, roughly. So every additional is going to count. Every additional is going to count after super attacking, because 30% damage reduction is not a lot. You might as well just consider yourself dodge or die on high level supers at 55%. 55% users, I'm sorry, you're not that safe. You are dodge or die at 55%. But if you get up to 2 dupes, full rainbow anyways, full rainbow, we'll just go ahead and go right into the revive and the stacking point. Not going to bore you with the other details. But the difference is pretty staggering. You go all the way up to a 9.8 to 11.3 million defense in the same scenario. 60% support, ally restriction, 3 defense stacks from the previous turn and on the same turn, and then revive. In this instance, you are safe. But you take out 2 dupes, you only do a double super from the previous turn or even the turn of, and you're definitely lowering that down into the 8-ish million super range. It's a little bit rough on the defense, I'm not gonna lie. For current level supers going well above 10 million, it's kind of scary to use him. He's very dupe reliant, heavily dupe reliant, super duper heavily dupe reliant, insanely dupe reliant. It scares me, actually. But he's still good. He's still very good. I still think he's dodge or die, though, for the most part, unless you get to really 2 dupes and above. So, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move into the build suggestions. I actually have 2 different build suggestions for y'all. So, entirely player preference, as always. Hello, Foofy. So 55%, I really just feel like you need to just throw a dodge orb on, bro. Because, I mean, you could try to leave it up to additional, by all means, but you're still dodge or die no matter what, even post-revive. Unless you're just that heavily supported, which is very much possible. It is very much possible you could be super heavily supported. remember, the defense numbers are mostly there on a maximum average. It's a weird thing, but they're just basic numbers. You can definitely heavily support the crap out of God Goku and increase the numbers, but either way, at 55%, I still feel like he's just a full dodge or die kind of unit. So yeah, 55%. Throw in a level 5 dodge orb into your silver, and just, if you do plan to get dupes, just plan to replace it if you don't want to go for a full dodge build afterwards. But if you are going to just go ahead and go full dodge, and you're fine with that, and you're a full dodge user, with the first dupe, bottom right-hand path always goes first. Bottom right-hand path. You'll throw 3 nodes into dodge, and then with that level 5 silver orb, that puts you up to a 14. That is just a 14% chance. And you'll have 1 node left over down there, and you just put it into additional. Arguably, you could go ahead and, you know, throw it into crit, but I don't feel like an extra 6% crit chance is going to matter because, once again, as people don't understand half the time, your passive and your hidden potential are separated. So your hidden potential does not mix, meaning your critical rate, if you had, let's just say you put that one level 3 in your hidden potential, that just means you have a 30% crit chance and then a 6% crit chance from your hidden potential. If you're going to go low on the end of critical, I don't feel like it matters too much, but some people's luck is different. My luck is not that different though. Mine is very straightforward. My luck is very, very, very specific. So I'm just trying to get an average on this. I still think if you're going full dodge, you might as well go full additional or put the rest into additional. So that way that you're just basically using him as he feels like he should be intended, is he's just a dodge tank. That's pretty much all he is. That is his main role. His main role is to dodge attacks beforehand with his 80% chance to dodge, and then just hope you survive on the additionals, essentially. But yeah. Now, for the 2 dupe build, which the second dupe should always be the top left-hand corner path second, always, every single time. Put your remaining nodes that you can into dodge. This will get you up to a level 15 naturally, and you put the last node that you can into additional, which is in a level 11, which is a 22% chance to additional. With a gold equip now unlocked, just go ahead and throw in a level 5 dodge if you got it, or if not higher. Once again, grind the Whis event, and that'll put you at a 25% chance to dodge. I know it's not that high, it's really not, but when you are literally at a point where it's either you had triple super 2 turns in a row, and you're just relying on a 50% chance to dodge after super attacking, and you're going to tank normals, that's fantastic, but the super attack comes at you after he attacks, and you might just die. 50-50 chance though, so entirely up to player preference. This is just a dodge build for a more defensive oriented build. Now, if you wanted to go for a more damage oriented build instead, on the first dupe, on the bottom right hand path, you'd go into crit. Because if you're going for a more offensive build with Goku, you're just going off of the fact that he's got 80% dodge chance before attacking and he'll have 50% chance to dodge afterwards, and you're hoping, you're like, nah man, I'm gonna take this guy out beforehand, then yeah, that's what you're gonna do, is you're gonna go full crit. Goku has good damage. He does. He has great damage, and if you actually go ahead and use his equipment, this actually ends up working out quite well for the hope that you're gonna go for kind of a full crit build. You'll be a little bit less here, but as I said, I don't really suggest the silver equip. But yeah, bottom right hand path, 3 nodes into crit, and then a level 5 crit orb on your silver that will put you up to 14. That's a 28% chance to critical. If you did get a level 7 crit orb, then that bumps you up to above a level, what, be a level 16. So that would be a 32% chance. Essentially, you have 2 30% chances to crit. Not terrible, not great, but it is definitely going to be more consistent than just your passive going off. The last node in the bottom right hand path you just put into additional to get more maximum DPS and defense. And then for the final part of it, top left-hand path dupe, if you're going for offensive build, put the last node you can into crit. That's a level 15, 30% chance to crit right there. Either use the gold equip or a higher level gold equip on the critical gold, and that'll put you up to at least a level 25, which is a 50% chance to crit. 50% chance, and then the 30% in the hidden potential. I'd say you're going to crit pretty often, in all honesty, at that point especially. I think you'll be critting pretty well. And with how high his damage can get to, I'd say you're going to do some nice amount of damage. And then put the last node into additional once again. You'll notice that additional isn't really focused in here, and it is probably the one thing I had to think about a lot for his build suggestions. And it mostly comes down to the fact that Goku relies on his additionals to go off to tank a super attack after super attacking. And he has no guard. He just has 30% damage reduction. And then he has his 50% chance to dodge after attacking and then 80% before. His main defensive mechanic is dodging. If you're going to go for wanting more damage with Goku, that means you're relying on his defensive mechanic as it is. And that's the way that this works. Is you either lean into the defensive mechanic or you lean away. So yeah, those are my suggestions. You don't have to choose them. As I said, they are suggestions. But to each their own. I need more higher numbers, or else it doesn't work for me. Anyways, apparently I did not put in the roll tip. I am all over on this. All right, and for the last part, I'm just going to go ahead and suggest roll tips. Roll tips wise, he does kind of want to just straight up be with full Realm of Gods or a mix of pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. His own leader skill will be fine. Obviously, Fizz UI Omen is going to be one of his better leaders to be rocking with, support and link wise. There is the STR Goku, but I don't think he actually is a full 200% on this, unfortunately. I could be wrong, actually. Hold on. No, he is. He's full 220. I think I was thinking of Beerus when I was thinking about that. But yeah, STR Daima Goku, so 11th anniversary units, essentially. His own lead, and then it's a little bit iffy on the Bond of Master Disciple over here. But, yeah, you could definitely go Future Go on. I think there's enough rotational and off-rotational support that you could still use him. And obviously their hybrid Saiyans are all over the place on there, so you could technically throw him onto the team. They do need a revive. The only issue I have with doing such a thing... Oh wait, is he on that team? Oh, he's not on that team. He's not on that team. I think that bled in from the beers. My bad. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I have just been all over the place on wanting to do this freaking build. I've just been all over the place on this. All over the place. Let me remove that sucker. There we go. Okay, my bad. So partners wise, once again, I would just stick with as many pure Saiyans and Realm of Gods kind of centered allies, just for link support, and then obviously for activating his revive and his entire full passive. So yeah, keep full teams of pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans, or at least having one Realm of Gods to be able to even get his intro off. Just really depends on how you're going to use him. Just remember that you're only going to get to his max 60% dodge if you have a full pure Saiyan or hybrid Saiyan team. Best slot position, I just think he's slot 1. He's got 80% chance to dodge. He's supposed to revive. He's basically the revive GOAT on the team. He needs to revive. That's what he's meant to do. He's meant to dodge tank in slot 1 and then revive and do a little bit of damage along the way. But I do feel like there is a conflict in his revive, as I said, because it does require that he revives to get the extra damage here. Otherwise, it is fine to just get the revive off with him. It just has an issue of, like, if you did have to go onto a Bond of Master Disciple team, where a unit like Future Gohan needs to get the revive first, you do got to be careful of multiple revive teams. Because sometimes you need to prioritize which unit actually revives, or it could actually hurt the other units. But otherwise, I think he's perfectly fine on majority of teams right now anyways. So, but yeah, slot 1. You can put him slot 2 or 3, entirely up to you. If you throw him off rotation, though, I do feel like you're going to get into situations where you might kill a phase of an enemy without getting any stacks in. And if you don't get any stacks in, then you really are just going to be dodge or die. So I do feel like he kind of needs to stay on rotation at the very least. So you don't want to put him in slot 1. You want to put Fizz UI in slot 1. You want to put him in slot 2. Nothing wrong with that. Just means he's safe on AoEs. But it does also mean that, yeah, put him where he's safest is what I would say. That's actually just going to be it, because I think there's so many potential easy pure Saiyan extreme Realm of God teams that are just flat out obvious, that I don't really want to suggest any specific teams to be using. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and be it for this video. It did last longer than I wanted it to be, but that's going to go ahead and be it. Let me know down in the comments how you decided to build God Goku. Did you go full dodge? Did you go full crit? Did you go full additional? Honestly, you could probably use a little bit of everything, unfortunately. But my luck isn't that great. So, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good day and a good night. That grade A rambling. That grade A rambling. Grade A rambling. I need to drink tea after that. Oh, God. I need to drink so much tea after that. Ugh. Okay. So yeah, after that one, we're gonna go over to Beerus and record that one. I should give a shout out to Dokkan Info, because I do use the Dokkan Info website quite a bit. Oh my god, there's a lot of comments. Let me look up a little bit here. Let me look up here. There's quite a few comments up in here. Let's see here. What kind of tea? Like I said, it was the blackberry sage tea. Let's see here. Speaking of beers, Doris hit Whis' emote at the end of the Beerus active. I love the I love the KO screen for Beerus Celtic. Let's see here. Yeah, I pour one out for Celtic on the shaft there. It was pretty rough. I still feel bad. I just realized I have a lot of conflicting audio. But yeah, shout out to Celtic on his poor luck. I'm sorry, dude. You didn't deserve to get shafted like that. Seriously, serious. Yep. Boo. I'm sorry. Bringer, how you doing? Boo for the category missions for each seriously serious stage release. Agreed. I will say that mission is stupidly easy. Like, seriously, that is it is so stupid. If you got Beerus anyways, this is nothing, because they're all unarmed freaking attacks. So Beerus, who counters, you just throw him into slot 1 and he's just counter. It was honestly glorious to watch all the counters go off. It is so freaking great. But anyways, let's see here. Oh, Celtic's out. Got to get back to work. Appreciate you showing up, bro. I like the build. If you say so, dude. Oh, Proton's here. Proton, my boy. How you doing, man? Hopefully I didn't mess up anything when I was explaining that. Sometimes I wish Proton was actually watching while I'm recording to correct me on things, because that's the point. That's part of the point of the builds, is that I get you the right information on how things work. And so there's a lot of times I go over to Proton and ask him really embarrassing questions, like I should already know it. But anyways, still in the process of waking up. My eyes are glued. I hate that feeling in the morning. I cannot get through that. I usually have to put the sun into my retinas to actually wake up. Are they going to add any more characters in the Blue Dragonstone Baba Shop, or are the ones in there the only ones? More than likely, they're not going to actually put anything else in there. More than likely. Let me see if I can actually get that pulled up through here. I did want to make a post about that. I just didn't. So I'm lazy. And I'm time consumed by everything. Usually you can view the characters on here. Where is that? I think it's right here. Yeah, it's right here. These bluestones. I don't think they're going to add anything to this. Maybe they will. But I doubt it. I really heavily doubt it. Honestly, it's a really tough sell. Like, you have to buy the pack 2 times just to get any of these LRs, which that's like $80. That's $100. Which, you know, honestly isn't terrible, but it is just a 55% copy you're getting. So, as far as all that goes, I mean, if you don't have these units, all of these are actually worth having to some degree, you know? Some of these are just, they're just straight up worth having. I think the least amount of value in here, right now at this like specific point that I could think of, would unfortunately be Tech Gogeta and maybe Frieza. Otherwise, technically speaking, you know, the Tech Gods and the Fizz Super Saiyan 4s and even Namek Goku are all usable in Festival of Battle, which is a pain in the butt thing to go through half the time. Same thing with LR Vegeta Trunks. I think you can find teams and situations to use all these units in some form and degree, so. Banner units, though, are really valuable. There's a lot more than what's on here, actually, in the shop. But, personally, like, all of these banner units are great. Except for Spopovich. Get out of here, Spopovich. And 18. And I'm sorry, Rado, but 18, this 18's terrible. She's just straight up terrible. If you want to see Beerus in a different, like, if you pulled Beerus, Champa right here, oh my goodness, Champa gets a huge glow up. He gets a huge glow up from the new Beerus. Huge glow up. If you don't have Champa, honestly, I've been having so much fun running Champa with Beerus. Otherwise, I think the most stonks you're gonna get is probably just gonna be Piccolo, or maybe 17, or Majin Buu. Yeah, those would probably be your best bets. 55% doesn't go super far with a lot of them. I think Piccolo's pretty 55% friendly, in all honesty. He's probably the most 55% friendly other than 17 here. Actually, you know, Majin Buu is actually pretty 55% friendly. The rest of these really do want a lot of dupes, so. But anyways. Woo. Okay, let me catch back up on comments. Oh, I think, where was I? I don't remember where I was. Dark Link, appreciate you, bro. I might just buy all 4 and get 2 copies of the AGL UI Goku. I don't know if AGL UI Goku is really worth it anymore nowadays. I mean, he's just a full dodge unit in general. If you just, I mean, at 79%, he's fine. He's just basically there to dodge and then activate his revive, so. Greetings, Mr. JS. I cannot pronounce that name. Lasik? I honestly don't know how to pronounce that. What's up? Those are all... Those are all... If they added any afterwards, it would be big mess for them to solve. Yeah, that sounds about right. Did you pull him? Did I pull who? Shout out to the GOAT Proton. Exactly. Shout out to the GOAT. Who doesn't know the leaders. I don't know nothing, man. Tech Super Saiyan Blue Kaigan has been replaced for the Realm of Gods revive. Pretty much. I think you were still the only one ever using him, though, Dark Link. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe, actually, you know what? I think Celtic Link was actually using him a lot, too. So you're not the only Link to use the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Non-existent copy of Goku full crit. You went full dodge on the banners? That is probably the best choice to go for, Proton. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, if people don't know, that's part of the reason why I've been slacking on these ones. Is it's just like, nobody should be summoning on these guys. I'm dead serious. Like, nobody should be summoning for Beers or God Goku. They're gonna be returning in September anyways. And at that point, you can get them almost for free. They'll be free dupes, essentially. You'll be going for better versions of them. I'm still under the delusion that there's going to be another God Goku and Beerus releasing in September because of the new Dragon Ball Super animation for Beerus. So I still feel like their return is going to be for a purpose, and it's just going to be better timing to be summoning at that point. So I would hold on to your red coins. I really would hold on to your red coins, like excessively hold on to your red coins right now. Numbers are confusing. Extremely confusing. I hate numbers. I failed math. I got through business and marketing, but I couldn't get through math. If I had money to splurge for the pack twice, I'd get beastless, but money is tight. Yeah, no, I wouldn't even... yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go for 2 copies, but... Oh, no, you mean, yeah, because you do have to get the pack twice to get even 1. Yeah, I don't know. I think Gohan will return at another point, too. Though I will say Gohan, I think Gohan's on this banner, so... But Gohan returns pretty regularly, so I don't think that'll be a problem. Probably get him at another chance. I arrived when you were explaining crit versus super effective. You did well. The more technical approach is that crit is an extension of super effective, but you did well. That, yeah. You see, that's the thing. I don't want to explain the nitty-gritty details. If I had to try and explain all the gritty details of the exact point, it's the only reason I haven't done the guides, is because if I did a guide and I had to explain to everybody the actual literal point difference, really, between going from type advantage to types effective against all types versus actual attribute attacks effective against all types, and then critical on top of all of that, it's just so annoying to explain. The point is, I prefer crit. I think it has a higher DPS like level. It feels better than attacks effective against all types. So when I see attacks effective against all types, it's just, to me, it's not good enough. It's not crit. It's just not good enough. I have a higher expectation for damage. So when I think damage, I think they need to crit. But yeah. Appreciate you, Proton. You mean to tell me Vegeta, the freaking AGL Piccolo are good? No. 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 Don't you dare touch this freaking Piccolo. This Piccolo is a freaking curse. This Piccolo is bullcrap. This Piccolo is bullcrap. Don't you dare touch this AGL Piccolo. Do not touch him. I hate that Piccolo. Hate that. I got that Piccolo 3 times on one summon. I hated that. Only reason I'm pulling on the banner right now is because the Easy A, Int, Goku, and Vegeta Blue are on it, and I want dupes. That's fair. That's the other smart time to be summoning for banners, is that you should always look at a banner and be like, what am I missing? Like, I mean, just about every one of these units can be usable in some form of matter. And if you don't have any of them, let's just say that you really want Goku, but you have, let's say, Gamma 2 rainbowed and you have Majunior rainbowed. But if you don't even have hits, or you don't have ROF blues, or you need dupes, like hit with dupes is a lot better in Festival of Battle. He is so much better with dupes. So getting dupes of hit in general feels a lot better. Same thing with Daima Goku here. This Daima freaking Goku, oh my god, I could not have gotten through the million arena words. I couldn't get through the million arena without this fool, just because of that off-rotational support. I have him rainbowed. I had to change his build to specifically give him extra additionals so that I could get more 41%. I got a triple super out of this fool, which gave me 123% attack increase. That was the only reason I got to a high percentage in that freaking battle, because I got stupid RNG from that freaking thing. It was just, anyways, trauma, PTSD. My point is that if you're missing units on a banner, like a majority of the units, you can't really go wrong with it. Why is Beerus's banner worse? What the fun biscuits? No wonder Celtic was mad at me. No wonder Celtic was mad. I honestly did not realize how much worse Beerus's banner was. I did not realize how much worse it was, because they threw on 3, 4, 5 freaking SRs as a featured onto the freaking thing. But Goku over here, he's got one. He's got one featured SR. That's just so messed up. Like, why did they do that to Beerus like that? Yet Beerus is the only one I summoned on, and I got 2 dupes for him. So I also got 1 dupe of Kaioken. I rainbowed Gohan, even though I only had him with 1 dupe before. I didn't get a single Glorio. I didn't get a single Glorio. I didn't get a single one of these 23rd World Tournament Gokus. I got like 1 or 2 Kid Boos, unfortunately. And I got a crap ton of the freaking Super Easy A beers. But yeah, screw these. What the heck is that? That's just rude. That's just rude. Give me 1 Beerus. I had to pity one of those Beeruses. I'm not gonna lie, I pitied one of the Beeruses. And no, I don't have God Goku. I actually skipped God Goku. I don't like God Goku. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like him. In the end, it didn't even matter because Modders still officially got the top spot. Oh my god, don't remind me of that, Proton. Why are you reminding me of that? Oh my god, I hate it. That was so funny. I'll be honest, I think that's the only reason they haven't done it. I think it's the only reason they haven't done it again. Because they realize that they can't fight the modders. Because the modders will always win. The modders will always win. They'll ruin everything PvP oriented like that. I mean, they get around it with World Tournament because it's a regular thing, I assume. I mind you. But I imagine that's the real reason they chose not to do the 1 million arena again. Or 100 million arena. Whatever it was called. Stupid name. It's just because the modders took all the top spots. It was just so stupid. So stupid. Anyways. Okay. Let me change a couple other things here. And yes, if anyone asks, I make literally all of my own graphics and thumbnails and everything else. I commission my art, but I make all of my thumbnails. I make all of my graphics. I make this side panel that has Beerus in it. I do all of it myself. Alright, let's get Beerus in here. Did I not finish all of his builds? I don't know if I finished all of his builds. Correction, I don't know if I, 1 sec. It's called the Dokkan time because we Dokkaned all over the enemy. I don't know how to feel about that question, statement, sentence. That's why you the goat. Okay, yeah, I just didn't just did not have the file. Just didn't actually flatten it. I didn't convert it into a PNG file. That's what happened. I literally cannot express just how much I have been grueling going over these for the last couple days. It has just been killing me the last few days. It really has. Okay, so, once again, while I'm recording, I'm not going to be answering any of the comments. I'm just going to go ahead and record and do my thing. Hopefully, Beerus will not take as long as Goku did. I tend to ramble too much, and when I go on a rambling tangent, I just don't shut the heck up, and that's my fault. But, yeah, no, it's definitely worth running. It's definitely worth running him. Don't get me wrong. When I go crazy on it, you have to understand, I have the worst dodge luck in history of mankind. I have the absolute worst dodge luck of all freaking mankind. You don't understand. Celtic wishes he had the worst dodge luck ever, but he doesn't. I have the worst dodge luck, okay? I have literally had Jackie Chun freaking... Not Jackie. I have literally had freaking Shin, Tech Shin, in slot 1, not dodge twice in a row. Alright? Twice in a row. I have it recorded. Hold on a sec. Where's my cable? Where's my freaking cable? Y'all don't understand. I literally have the worst dodge luck in a row. Celtic always says he has the worst dodge luck, and he does. He does have really bad dodge luck. He really does. The truth of the matter is that Celtic runs through a lot of fights a lot more than I do. So yeah, he tends to get a lot of crappy runs. I believe that. He goes through a lot more. Bro religiously goes through freaking fights and does all that. 1 sec. Let me get this pulled up. I need to get this pulled up. I need to show this. Dark Link knows. Dark Link 100% knows. Dark Link knows. What did I do with that clip? Is it this one? I don't think so. No, that's a recent run with Beerus. Where is it? I could technically just go look at my messages with Link, but I don't want to do that. What did I do with it? It's because of all these pictures of my son. I take too many pictures of my son, I record too many videos with my son. Where is it? Where is it? Nope, that was Mira. It's Mira, that's Toa. It's Toa. Oh yeah, there was the Toa one too. That's right, there was the one with Toa as well. Where Toa freaking decided, I'm just not going to dodge. The 90% dodge chance. Again, you know. Once again, the 90% dodge chance. I'm pretty sure it was Toa, right? No, it wasn't Toa. Where is it? Can't even find it now. I tried it recently with Vegeta. I think that was why. I was trying to go crazy with the Realm of Gods teams. I was like, I'll just use freaking Tekshin. It'll be perfectly fine. Alright, I'm not going to sit here all day and night looking for the freaking clip. Dark Link knows. I'm running the team you made for the Super Easy A Int UI Goku. Oh god, that's got to be an expired team by now. But if I got God Goku, do you think he would fit on that? If so, who should I swap him out for? That's a lot to go back and look at. I'm not going to lie to you. Hold on a sec. You're going to make me go all the way back to that. Let's see here. Did I say Omen Goku? Wow, that is a first in a long time. I'm literally streaming right now, Goku. I'm literally streaming right now, YouTube. YouTube just decided to be like, I need verification for you to look at all of your stuff. Like, bro, I'm literally streaming right now. Like, do not, like, kick me out of my account right now while I am streaming. I will end you. No, wait, I probably put Omen Goku, didn't I? I put Omen Goku. I did not. Did I put Saiyan Goku? There it is. Let's see here. Breakdown, defense, blah, 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 blah. Team suggestions. Y'all really gonna make me look at this. What did I suggest? Could be a worse team. Could be worse. Yeah, which one? Are you talking about the main one right here? Talking about the main one I made right there? Yeah, that one? Okay. The Realm of Gods one. So on that team, I would say the one that's aged the worst is going to be either the ROF Blues or probably Vegito, unfortunately. It just really depends on the fight. See, that's the problem, is that it depends on the fight. Because the ROF Blues, they just have 50% damage reduction. That's it. That's all they got. They got 50% damage reduction. I think the Super Easy A Vegeta actually has a little bit more defensibility overall, so he's fine, but he's kind of got to float and be on a full super team. So that's the only other thing. So as long as you're still running a full super team, Super Easy A Vegeta is perfectly fine. But the ROF Blues and then Vegito Blue right there are probably the ones I would take off. And the only reason I take off Vegito Blue, and once again, I can't stress this enough, I have the worst freaking dodge luck ever, okay? It's 59% damage reduction. Yeah, but if you're not fully rainbowed up or at least 2 to 3 dupes up, that 59% damage reduction doesn't mean anything when you only have like 4 to 5 million defense. It just means you can tank like close to a 10 million super, which we're regularly going over now. So, and criticals are a thing. But yeah, no, see, that's my point, is like Vegito Blue I don't get me wrong. I love Vegito Blue. Let me go find him real quick. Thought I could find him real quick. Oh my god, where are you, bro? Where are you? Every time I go and look for a unit, I can oh wait, he's right there. Yeah, the problem with this guy is that he has the 20% damage reduction, and then he has a 6. So yeah, he's got 80% damage reduction on normals. Cool. He doesn't have that good of defense anymore. His defense isn't that great. Is he Rainbow Orb change? Yeah, great, cool, awesome. At the end of the day, this is literally how he lives. 50% chance to dodge super attacks. That's it. That's literally it. He has a 50% chance to live or die. Pretty much the entire time. All of the time. And guess how bad my dodge luck is? Pretty freaking bad. And that's the problem I have with the new God Goku. Because he has the same exact issue. Cool, you have 30% damage reduction. But you still, unless you get a triple super 2 appearances in a row, can't even have enough defense high enough to even tank a current level super unless you have multiple 2 dupes and above. So, to me, I literally view God Goku and Physical Vegito Blue as being almost the exact same thing because I give them a role. And if they don't follow the role and they have the same weakness and they die from the same weakness, then I view them very similarly. Difference being here, God Goku has his revive. God Goku is more recent. He has good damage. He doesn't have crit, as enough, at least not enough for me. And he has utilities. Okay, so he's more recent. He's got the revive. He's got a little bit better dodge chance in general. You know, especially on that first turn that he revives, because he's got that extra 20% right there. So he's technically got 70% for his first appearance after super attacking. So yeah, he's still a lot better. And in all honesty, for your team suggestion, I really would just say, yeah, just go ahead and yeah, do that. That's what I would suggest. Vegito Blue for him. It does remove your support a little bit, unfortunately, but I think it's fine. I think overall you'll have a better experience. Overall. But, of course, you know, try stuff out. And once again, it's all about the team fights. It depends on the different team. Different fights, man. It's always... We have so many different fights now that you can dominate one fight even though they do roughly the same amount of damage and do the same amount of things, but all it takes is like a stage having AoEs or a stage locking your slot or super locking or something like that. There's just little tiny things that can change that will make some teams just absolutely worthless. Like for instance, Realm of God teams are just pure garbage if they throw out a fight where you can't dodge. And I'm not gonna joke on that. I'm dead serious. Realm of God's teams just suck at that point if there's a dodge canceling stage. So it just really depends on what you're going for, what you're going into the fight for. But yeah, anyways. Okay. Let me go change. Clear selected. We're going to change up the music for the Biru stuff. And Beerus, where are you? You have such a long list of freaking OSTs that I can sometimes not find it. Does the search function even work? It does work. Huh. What do you know? I should do that more often. I swear there was a Beerus theme for freaking... Hold on a sec. I swear there was a Beerus theme I had for fighters. Why is it not popping that up? Or where's fighters? I really don't have Beerus' theme downloaded? What's wrong with me? I gotta go update my Dragon Ball OSTs, that's for sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they're probably not going to give us a dodge nullification fight until we get... we probably will have one in September. I'm not going to lie to you. We're probably going to have one in September, or maybe sometime after. It gets to a point where the devs will eventually be like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and like remove the best team in the game. Eventually they're going to do it. And I think a lot of people right now are going to be like, oh, Realm of Gods is the best in the game. I'm not going to lie to you. That's probably what a lot of people probably say. And STR Blues are probably part of that. The pedestal. Pedestal. The pedestal that freaking STR Blues are on is crazy. You do have Goku Black. Yeah, no, don't use those. Nope. Use that on you use that on a full Rose team, and that's about it. Try the Tamagami 1 red zone. Oh God, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Ugh. Buh. I need to get my artist to commission an OST or a freaking. I need my artist to give me a disturbed look for one of my avatars. This is about the most disturbed I can get. I need like a shivering one, like I'm terrified kind of like thing. Like yeah, like I need something else. Anyways, yeah. You have full. I don't think full Rose team is unfortunately good enough nowadays, but I haven't actually tried them in a hot minute, so I wouldn't really know too much. I'd have to re-look at their defense numbers. But yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and start getting this Beerus video done, and then we'll chill out a little bit more. All right, everyone, it is Dokkan time again, and today we are going to go over the build for my new favorite Realm of Gods unit. And it's not necessarily because he's like the best freaking Realm of Gods unit. No, he is the god of destruction, and I think he's pretty fun. So, anyways, if you're new to the channel, my name is Saiyan. I make Dragon Ball and Dokkan based videos right now. If that sounds good to you, hit the like and subscribe button with a giant sphere of destruction, and let's just go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to go through the breakdown. Then we'll go through build suggestions, role tips, and I might actually try to give you a team suggestion or two, because that is definitely going to be one of the weaknesses of Beerus, is going to be a team issue. I think next week, once we get some easy A's, that will change. So, but anyways, 200% leader options. He doesn't have too many. I will say this is another one of his weaknesses, is where he does kind of need a specific team to be rolling with him. And I think he can run on some teams, but I'm not sure how well he'll excel, if that makes any sense. Beerus is a unit where he is, well, he's the god of destruction. So he kind of wants be important. If he's not being important, he might not be worth bringing along. But we'll get into that in a minute. His leader skill is Realm of Gods, Planetary Destruction, or Successors. Key plus 3 HP 200%, and attack and defense of 170%. You'll get a 220% in total buff if those units are on Legendary Existence, Siblings Bond, or movie bosses. Now, this is a very meh category. I don't really prefer his 220. His 220 is pretty rough, and this is why I was saying I might give some suggestions on teams, because you end up having some mixtures here. Like, for instance, you don't want to technically run the STR Blues with him. You don't. Because there's a lot of units on his team that are going to be more extreme-oriented. Just for a quick example, technically, this Frieza is I'm not going to say very good, but he is a good option to be on the team. He's got prodigies, he's a tank, He's got support with the Gogeta, etc., etc. So technically speaking, that's an extreme unit. We also have the new God Vegeta here. And if you don't understand how the STR blues work, well, you need to have all Alizak in the same turn as super characters. Or there at least needs to be a Future Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. Future Saga isn't that great right now, so you're not really going to find too many substitutes for that. So it does make it a little bit difficult to run him on there. That already takes away a very strong unit on the team, and there isn't a lot of LRs that are fully under the 220. There's a couple, and that's fine. It works. We're getting a Super Easy A for the Beerus Whis, but otherwise it's mostly a lot of TURs. A lot of TURs means a lot less health. A lot less health means, well, you can't tank as much as you think you can. But anyways, Super Attack is raising attack and greatly raising defense for 4 turns. So 30% boost to attack and 50% boost to defense. This is honestly the way that Goku, God Goku, should have had it. He should have had the greatly raised defense, and Beerus should have had the greatly raised attack. So I find it a little bit funny that they actually flip-flop that, because literally switching their super attacks would have dramatically helped both of them, in my personal opinion. Dramatically. Passive skill. Activate the entrance animation when there's a Realm of Gods ally on the team. Damage reduction 30% for 1 turn. Scouter for 3 turns, which is nice. Essentially, this means for your first 2 appearances as Beerus. And then defense 510%. Now, key +2 and attack and defense 300. He guards. Yes, he actually guards, which is great. Better than 30% damage reduction. I'm not spiteful at all. Why do I feel like that's cut off? That's why. My bad. Great chance of launching additional super attack, so 70% chance to super. That means he's not launching an additional attack, he's just having a 70% chance to super attack straight off. Supporting. Very nice. Realm of Gods category allies, defense plus 30%. Very nice. Plus an additional attack and defense 50%, chance of performing a critical hit, and chance of dodging attack by 25%, and damage reduction rate of 10% for characters who also belong to the planetary destruction category. So this is one of the only annoying parts I have about Beerus. I'm really not gonna lie. Pause. I need to drink a cup of tea. Hold on. Oh, sorry. You know, dead serious when I say that it actually is very painful on my throat to be recording and talking this much. I don't need to see a doctor at all. So, this part of Beerus's passive is only going to apply to himself and Champa. That is it. It is the biggest part of his passive that I dislike aggressively, and it's purely because it restricts so much. And it's just because all of that is applied to those who are on the planetary destruction category and Realm of Gods. So if you're not on the Realm of Gods and you're not having planetary destruction, you don't get this. And like I said, it's just Beerus units and Champa units. No, this does not apply to the Beerus Whis unit that will be super easying next week at the time of recording. So you don't get all that extra goodness. But that unit will get this part, which is actually pretty nice. Chance of evading an enemy's attack by 10% for allies whose name includes Whis. This is going to be really nice for the Easy A, Super Easy A units that come out next week. It's essentially going to make the STR Whis an 80%, potentially 90%, depending on his Easy A, on dodging. And it'll give that extra 10% to that LR Whis Beerus unit. So Whis units now will always get an extra 10% as long as you have the Beerus with them on the same rotation. Now, when there is when there is a Realm of Gods category enemy, so this is you fighting a Realm of Gods enemy, God Goku, Super Saiyan God units, Beerus's, Champa's, Jiren. It does not count Frieza. Frieza has never been a realm of gods. It's so weird to me. Keep us 3 attack 300%. Launch an additional super attack for free, so double supering for free. Realm of Gods category allies attack plus 30%. This basically means is that he has support for Realm of Gods being 30% attack and defense. And then plus an additional attack plus 50%, chance for rank critical hit plus 25% for characters that are also on the planetary destruction. Once again, this part only applies to Beerus and Champa. Attack and defense 100% for allies whose name includes Whis. The only unfortunate part about this is that's a pretty big, significant buff of attack and defense. And I really do, unfortunately, think they are going to take that into consideration with the Super Easy Ace and Easy Ace of Whis, unfortunately. But we'll see how that goes. When there are no Realm of Gods enemies, this is the tough part. 70% chance of Ki plus 3 attack plus 300%. That really sucks. I mean, 70% chance is a good chance of activating, but it's still only 70%, which means there are some turrets where he will seem very much weaker when really he's not. 70% chance to launch another additional super attack. Damage reduction rate of 20% before attacking. This is pretty important in my opinion because that's 20% before attacking along with the 10% up here. So before attacking, you have 30% damage reduction and guard. What this ends up happening here is that the more additionals you get and keep onto the next rotation will significantly increase his ability to be in slot 1, depending on how many dupes, at what your equipment is. There is going to be situations, depending on how many dupes and how your build is with Beerus and what amount of support you have, where you can put him in slot 1, legitimately. On regular gameplay, no, he can't go into slot 1. But with that guard and 30% damage reduction and a lot of enough stacks from the previous turn, he can actually tank decently well. Now, when attacking, attack 200%. When receiving attack, defense 250. And after receiving or evading an attack, which means it doesn't matter if you dodge or not, attack 200% and chance of performing critical hit plus 30% for 4 turns. This means this applies to the next turn, which means if you get hit beforehand. So essentially, turn 1, you get hit, you have the 30% crit. The next turn, if you put him in slot 1, he gets hit again, you get another. Maybe you don't get it, actually. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. No, you don't get that twice. 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 Sorry. I read that wrong. But yeah, for 4 turns, you'll have attack 200% and 30% crit chance for 4 turns. When receiving an unarmed super attack, 70% chance of nullifying and countering with a tremendous power, and then nullifies it every time and counters if it's a Realm of Gods category enemy. This is so freaking hilarious to watch go off in the new freaking Seriously Serious battle that it just makes it a joke when you actually use this guy. It's just so funny seeing all the counters go off. Active skill, greatly raise attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, 30% HP recovery, Realm of Gods category allies keep +2 attack and defense of 20%, and planetary destruction category allies getting keep +2 attack and defense of 20% for 4 turns. Essentially, once again, it means Beerus and Champa units are getting 40% increase here on active. And trust me when I say it's a nice, good amount of damage and defense. This can only be activated, however, when HP is 77% or less, or starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. Essentially, this is what you use at the end of a fight, or a middle ground of a fight, if you actually need some key recovery or HP recovery. So, there is some usage there. Link skills, Innocence, Prodigies, over 9,000, Godly Power, Connoisseur, Shocking Speed. Yes, he has over 9,000. Unfortunately, the only reason this is here is because they specifically want you to run him with Champa. This is the specific reason they have this here. And they did this because they want you to have that extra defense of 22% in total, which means you have your shocking speed going off, you have the connoisseur link, and then you have the over 9,000, which is an extra attack and defense 10%. I cannot stress enough the difference of performance on Beerus and Champa when they are together. When these two brothers are together, they're actually pretty nutty. Now, don't get me wrong. Champa is not immortal. He's not immortal. He's not busted or broken. But man, he got a good revival here. And it's mostly because he's also supporting by 66%. He has 66% damage reduction. And because of Beerus on rotation, he has 76% damage reduction. And when you have all of this potentially going off, oh my god, there could be moments where you might actually lose your barnacles and Champa might go nuts. Okay. Now, it's not going to happen often, but that 66% chance actually does kind of need to go off. No matter what, when you have Champa on the team, always grab the 6 key spheres. Every single time. Always. But he's also a rainbow orb changer. He's actually a very good orb changer. He's a very good support unit. He is fan-frickin-tastic. I will say that he's immensely better if you actually get a double super to go off. The extra defense just goes pretty far for him at that point. But otherwise, if you just start getting him now, I'm not going to fault you for going full dodge, but full additional is something to think about with Champa. It will help out quite a bit on his defense. But yeah, very, very good partner right there. And once again, once we get the Super Easy A for Whis and Beerus next week, this is going to be a very excellent partner for damage and recovery and support in general. The only issue, like I said before, is that we end up in a situation where Whis and STR Beerus and Whis, and then the STR Whis that's actually getting an Easy A, they have to be slot 1 units for the majority of the player base. They have to be. If they're not slot 1 units, then a majority of players are not going to use Beerus as a slot 1, unless the support from them is just absolutely busted, which I don't think is going to happen. But unless these guys can be in slot 1, I'm not really sure how comfortable people are going to be putting Beerus in slot 1. Beerus has the potential to go in slot 1. He has the potential to be in slot 1, but he's not a slot 1 unit, if that makes any sense. But to explain a little bit what I'm saying with this, let's just go look at the defense numbers. I'm actually going to pause that real quick. 1 sec. Okay. Just a little FYI. I just got put on baby duty, as in I have the baby monitor. And yeah, so I could have to end the stream at any point in time. At this point in time now, Mrs. Saiyan has gone to bed, and tomorrow is obviously Mother's Day, so I will be focusing upon that at that point. I'm going to finish up this video, and we'll try to relax for as long as we can, and yeah. Also, yes, I can pause my recording because it's something I call scum recording, where you just kind of record what's on OBS and you don't edit or do anything. It's pretty much what every single Dokkan creator does, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I'm gonna, anyways, talks for another day. Let's go ahead and get this all done. Let me make sure. This is Saiyan didn't send me anything. Got to make sure that she's okay. Okay. Anyway, back to the recording. So let's go over the defense numbers, compliments of Blood Raven over on Twitter. We're going to look at the 55% with the 900 defense orb. I will show where to get the orbs after the defense numbers here, because I forgot to do it beforehand and I don't want to switch. So with Beerus, his defense numbers can be about the same as God Goku. In that light, I mean that he really depends on a lot of additionals going off, which is good and bad. First appearance, as per usual, he's probably going to look a lot better because he has that extra damage reduction. But once you actually start getting some stacks in, you can get a lot better. Turn 1 on super attack, 1.3 million defense with the 900 level 9 bronze orb. Your starter turn defense isn't that great. You're only at about 820 to 900k. 900k isn't much. It's very little. When receiving an attack is not going to jump up to 6 million. So when receiving an attack, when you're that low on 900, I would almost cut this in half. Like, you'll probably maybe be around like 3-ish million, maybe somewhere in there. The reason I go through these calculations is because I don't calculate very well. So when I look at these numbers, start a turn, it's not going to be that high. Now, with stacks, if you can magically get 4 stacks is quite a bit. It requires your hidden potential. It requires the 70% chances going off. It's perfect RNG, essentially. With 4 stacks from the previous turn and the 4 stacks on the current turn, you could get up to 4 million, 4.5 million defense, which upon receiving an attack could put you up to 10 to 11 million defense. Now, that's with guard and I believe 10% damage reduction. 10% damage reduction isn't anything, but the guard shouldn't necessarily be looked away from. This helps out a lot. Now, let's just say he only gets 2 or 3 defense stacks from the previous turn, you can probably lower this down to about roughly the 8 or 9 million range. Probably closer to the 8.5 range. With guard and the little bit of extra damage reduction, I think you could maybe tank just enough on a actual 10 million super attack. So I'm not going to say he's super safe, but I don't think he's not safe either. It just really depends on what you actually support him with, what kind of team you're on. But it really just depends on a lot of situations. 55% is pretty low, though. I do not expect these numbers. This is like the absolute maximum amount that you really could get. Actually, no, I take that back. You can go much higher because of the active skill. The active skill is going to basically give you a safe turn. It's not going to necessarily give you a safe turn on slot 1. It can technically leave you pretty safe in slot 1, in all honesty, with enough defense stacks. I would say you can potentially throw Beerus in slot 1 with active if you triple supered at the very least on the previous turn. And with either an ideal partner or with a lot of support of 60%. And then he can probably tank some attacks. Because remember, he has 30% damage reduction and guard. That 3 million is going to skyrocket up to a decent amount, in all honesty. I mean, look at these numbers here. 16 million defense potentially at maximum on a 55%. Mind you, it's like the highest, most up possible yet you can potentially do. But yeah, Beerus is pretty freaking nice on active. I mean, he's pretty safe on active in all given honesty. So long as you're actually giving him stacks. He really needs and wants those stacks in general. So, this is only also taking into consideration of shocking speed. It's not taking into consideration of connoisseur, and it's not taking into consideration of over 9,000 if you link him with his brother Champa. You will have even higher numbers, which is why I said you can technically run him in slot 1 in certain situations. So he's very nice at 55%, but let's go ahead and take a look at full rainbow numbers here. So full rainbow numbers, we're just gonna like skip up into the 60% turn 1. Turn 1, if you get a quad super, meaning your hidden potential procs, the 70% all go off, you can be up from an 8.4 million, and with your equipment being the gold and bronze, you can get up to 9.6 million defense. With guard and 10% damage reduction after attacking, you actually can be pretty freaking safe there. Once again, this is only with shocking speed activated, so already turn 1 on a with Rainbow Beerus, I don't think that's too bad. That's actually pretty dang safe. Mind you, this is on the instance of a quad super. That's asking quite a bit. I still think it's pretty safe. It's about roughly a 600k difference there, from 3.1 to 3.7. Mind you, he'll probably be around the 9 million range still right there. That's still guard and 10% damage reduction. You can still tank a 10 million with that. Mind you get a triple super. But yeah, I still say he's pretty safe. Now, if you actually get a turn where you have your quad super 4 stacks, you can get pretty well off too. Once again, 2.3 million start a turn defense, and then on a double super, you're at 3 million defense, and then when receiving an attack, you can get up to 13 million defense, or 12 million defense without the equipment. Equipment makes a huge increase here if you didn't notice. That's almost a 2 million difference in stats. It's 1.7 million defense difference there. Mind you, this is once again with 4 stacks, for the previous turn and so forth. I mean, he gets pretty high up there. And with 60% support, that goes from 12 to 13 to 14 to 16 million defense. Once again, still has guard and 10% damage reduction. Guard is more important here than the 10% damage reduction. And then we still have the active. We still have the active. So on an active turn, with 60% support, 4 defense stacks, active, your starter turn defense is at 5.2 million with his special equipment, being the bronze level 9 and the gold defense orb. 5.2 million, and then receiving an attack with the damage reduction and the guard. Yeah, he's pretty safe in slot 1 on that turn. Very safe on 4 defense stacks. 3 defense, you probably might have a little bit of an issue, but you should be safe. On super attack, up to 6 million defense. Additional, 7 million. Triple, almost 8, 7.9. Quad, 8.8 million defense. When receiving an attack, goes from 19 or 22 million defense potential. This is a huge amount of defense numbers, and like I said, this is not taking into consideration of connoisseur. It's not taking into consideration of his over 9,000 with his brother. There is more that you can push this to. But once again, I can't stress enough, you need stacks. You do want stacks, aggressively. You want stacks. Now, let's go ahead and show you where you can get the equipment orbs. The equipment orbs are from the serious All Out Battles 2 cereal. Yeah. You'll get it from the same stage you would get them from Goku, being stage 6. You'll get the bronze orb from the 4-star super, and then you'll get the silver from the 5-star super 2. In order to actually get the gold equipment, though, you will have to do the stage with a full 6 Realm of Gods category allies on the team. Friends do not count, as it says right there. So you do need a full ROG team to be able to do this. Beerus did get the better end of the stick here as far as a gold equipment goes, in my personal opinion. They gave him a level 6 additional. That's a 12% chance increase for your additional attack and a 900 defense. That is very nice. You can obviously get a better Whis equip if you grind hard enough, but this is very, 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 very nice, and I would highly suggest using it if you're going for the full additional. His silver equip, I'm not a fan of, because once again, I don't like these orbs that give you literally only a level 3 instead of a level 5 additional. I still, to this day, have no idea why they started doing this other than to just cuck you. But the attack here is pretty nice. It is a level 6 attack. You could potentially get a better orb, of course. I would still suggest going higher because the damage can be nice, but honestly, Beerus's damage is pretty low. So although this is a very nice orb and it does help him out quite a bit, I would say it's only going to really help him once he gets more dupes or if he actually has a proper partner. He really, 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 really wants additionals. He really does. So even losing out that extra 6% chance just from 2 levels below, a level 5 to a level 3, I really would just suggest going more higher additional rather than this. I really would. That's just my personal opinion. And once again, you get the bronze orb. So those are his 3 equipment from the Seriously Serious stage 6. Good luck getting them. The silver orb, once again, is the only one I don't really suggest using. Now, we're just going to go ahead and go moving into the build suggestions. I technically have 2 build suggestions, and it's mostly because there is never a perfect way to tell you how to build a unit. The build suggestions are always suggestions. So, however you decide to play and use the unit, entirely up to you. So, 55% though, I will actually, unfortunately, say that you can just give him a dodge. Technically speaking, you can give him the additional orb. There's nothing wrong with that. You can give him additional. It's only a 10% chance if you give him a level 5. But honestly, at 55%, he's not terrible. But I once again have to say that he ends up in a situation where he kind of needs those additionals to really keep his defense up. And losing that 20% damage reduction after attacking does hurt him a little bit on his defensibility. On average, you're probably going to only double super. On average, you're only going to double super with Beerus, and triple supering is just not going to happen that often. That is 1 million to 1.5 million loss of defense just from not getting a triple to quad super. So, I mean, I really feel like he needs the additionals, but at 55%, you don't really have a lot to work with. And I'm somebody that needs to work with what you got. And at 55%, you're not working with too much. So that is just for the 55%. Obviously, once again, use the bronze level 9 orb for the bronze slot. And we'll move on to the first dupe suggestions, which are just going to actually be 1 dupe suggestions for additional. So, contrary to his 55% build, I do actually suggest going additional with Beerus. It's my preferred build suggestion, so it's actually more of what I'm going to be focusing up on personally and what I have focused up on. So 1 dupe would be the bottom right hand path first. Always go bottom right hand path. You always go bottom right first. 3 nodes into additional. With the level 5 silver, that can pump it up to a 14, which is a 28% chance to additional attack, and then you always have 50-50 chance of it being a super. You put the last node in to dodge. The thing about Beerus is that I don't think he needs critical like Goku does. I feel like Goku wants critical. Beerus has 25% crit chance right here. He's got another 25% here if you're fighting a Realm of Gods enemy. So that's 50% chance to have a critical. So you already have a 50% chance. That is one of my golden rules with units, especially ones that have other aspects of their kit that need other things. If they have 50% crit chance, they don't necessarily need crit. So he already has a 50% naturally. I say he has 50% naturally because even if you're not fighting a Realm of Gods enemy, you also will have the ability to have this 30% crit chance, which would put you at a 55% chance. But if you are fighting both a Realm of God's enemy and you get hit, that means you actually have an 80% chance to crit. So long as he actually receives or dodges an attack every other turn. This goes for 4 turns. So it goes for the turn that you're hit, and it goes for the turn on his next appearance. At that point, though, it will expire. So after those 4 turns, you will need to get hit again. So essentially, for instance, turn 1 and turn 3, you have this up as long as you got hit. Turn 5, it disappears, and then you have to get hit again to reactivate it. So just keep in mind on how that actually plays out. But either way, the point I'm trying to get across is that he has plenty of crit. He doesn't need crit. He needs additionals for his defensibility. He needs additionals for his just extra damage in general. The more stacks you have from the previous turn, the better. The more safer he is. He's already pretty safe in general. So I just feel like you have a better luck chance because it's our additionals. A level 9 additional is an 18% chance to additional attack. Mind you, every unit has a 50-50 chance of being a super attack on their additionals. A 18 and a 50% chance is still a higher chance than a freaking level 9 dodge. Remember, dodge hidden potential is a 1% per level, whereas additional is a level 2. So a level 8 dodge is just an 8% chance to dodge, but a level 8 additional would be a 16% chance. But anyways, I'm just rambling. Point is, put the last node on the bottom right hand path into dodge because he doesn't need critical. That's basically what I'm saying. Now, for 2 dupes and above, second dupe is always the top left hand corner path. And because people keep asking me, the other 2 nodes, the bottom left and the top right, do not matter anywhere near as much. The only thing you should be aware of on those 2 other paths, the bottom left and top right, is your unit a defensive unit or a damage dealing unit? You get more damage nodes on the top right path, and you get more defense nodes on the bottom left path. That's the only thing you should care about. Otherwise, it's irrelevant almost. Now, what was I saying? Right. 2 dupes. So second dupe path, top left, put the 2 nodes into additional. That'll put you at level 15. You will have the gold slot unlocked. You're going to use either the equipment here. You're either going to use the gold equipment if you were able to acquire it, or you'll use a level 5+. Either way, that can pump you up for an extra 10 additional, which means 25+. Means you can be above 50% chance to additional attack and additional super. But the last node you'll have up there into dodge because he doesn't need crit. And that's it. That's as simple as it gets for his additional build. The dodge build is just the same. If you're going full dodge, you go full dodge. All right. If you go in full dodge, you go full dodge. Do you. In this case, you're just going to play off the fact that he has all of these additionals built into him. I don't think that's a problem. That's entirely up to you. That means you're really praying to RNGesus on the 70% here. You're praying for the 70% here. And you're just hoping it goes off every single freaking turn. And no, that's not a joke. I do literally mean you really want bro to triple super almost every turn if you're going full dodge. You want that extra defense, you want that extra damage. But yeah, Beerus is basically just here to support himself for the most part. So if you're going full dodge, it almost feels like you should just throw him off rotation. Because, yeah, he doesn't have too much else. He supports himself and Champa in a Whis. He's lightly supporting everybody with 30%. So if you really want to see Beerus actually shine and do something, he's got to stay on rotation. So additionals is the preferred here, but dodge is the safest way, and you're just hoping that the passive additionals are going off consistently. Either way, bottom right hand path, put 3 out of 4 of the nodes. Is there 4 nodes? 3, 6, 9. Yeah. 3 of the nodes into dodge. Because he's an intelligence type, he already has a level 5, so that puts you at a 14% chance to dodge. With the level 5 dodge silver orb, that puts you up to a 19% chance to dodge. Level 1 node left over, put it into additional. Once again, he doesn't need crit. Now, for the final build-esque suggestion, once again, if you go full dodge, top left-hand corner path, you just put the rest of the nodes into dodge, the last 2 out of 3, put the last node into additional, and you just give the gold a level 5 dodge. That puts you up to a level 30 dodge or higher, depending on if you have better Whis equips. And that's it. Level 30% chance to dodge on top of the 25 he has naturally built in. Once again, hidden potential and passive do not mix. So this means you have a 25% chance to dodge here, and then your hidden potential would give you a 30% chance to dodge. And that's how that works. Now, with the build suggestions out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and go into the role tips. Maybe I'll suggest some teams after this. It's going to take a minute. I think he's mostly a supportive type of unit. He's mostly supporting himself. At the end of the day, you got to look at Beerus as he's got a unique leader skill with specific units that can go onto it. He can aggressively support other Beerus, Whis, and Champa units. So I think he has very highly specific supporting just because of all of this. And that's the main reason you take him. Other than, you know, the auto countering on Realm of Gods units. You can mark my words that there will be new Realm of Gods fights that are not unarmed. So, but there will be certain instances where there will be, and that's where he will excel. So look out for fights with unarmed super attacks, because that's where he's going to excel in countering and doing all that. Essentially, it means is that if you have a fight with an unarmed super attack, he always has a 70% chance to essentially live it because he counters it. So that's something to think about when using Beerus. Technically speaking, keep an eye on the fights you go into and think about what is an unarmed super attack. So otherwise, he's okay damage. He's got a good heal. His damage is not actually crazy unless you actually have Champa and Whis and all of his links going off. His damage can be pretty low. I'm not gonna toot his horn that much. His damage can be pretty low. He's a very unique unit that does need a lot of support here. But leader-wise, it's either his leader, Godku, or Realm of Gods Physical Omen UI. Those are the only teams I suggest. It's not that he can't go onto other teams. It's not that. It's just that he wants the extra support from Phys UI. He wants the extra support from Champa and Whis and Realm of Gods. And if you can put him on a team where he gets enough support, then that's fine. You know, technically speaking, Bond Master and Disciple, he can maybe fit onto here. There's nothing wrong with throwing him onto here. You do get a decent amount of support from the Bond of Master and Disciple type of units. It's just he's probably not going to mix synergy well. And that's the only reason I don't suggest the Gohan. I had to think about it really hard, actually. And I chose not to. Once again, he can fit on a lot of teams. Synergy is a thing, man. Synergy is a thing. And links matter a lot with him. His damage is going to go up a lot more. His defense is going to go up a lot more. He's a very picky unit. To be fair, Beerus is a very picky character. Partners-wise, once again, Golden Frieza actually gives him prodigies. So, I mean, it's something at the very least. Otherwise, it's just like shocking speed and fierce battle. But these are mostly all damage. Damage. But then his only other 2 defense links he's ever going to get are just straight up from Whis or Champa. So those are his main partners, and those are the ones you should think about. Otherwise, his main partner should honestly just be units that go into slot 1. So Fizz UI Omen, God Vegeta, once he's actually transformed. You know, those are units he should be thinking about going with to be able to go into slot 2. He's not always a slot 1. We've been over this earlier in the video. The more stacks he gets to raise his defense off rotation and to get more on rotation will make him more suitable to be into slot 1. But I cannot stress enough that he needs stacks to be able to have the ability to go into slot 1. Otherwise, he's more safer in slot 2 than a slot 3 or a slot 1. I don't really feel like he's safer in slot 3 to be floating because he needs all of those stacks. And slot 3 units have a habit of not getting to attack because you'll finish a phase off from the first or second slotted characters because you're focusing up on the tank and then the middle unit wanting stacks. It just ends up being in a point of if you float him, he might get you killed later because you didn't allow him to stack up defense. So he's a very, very selfish unit. And once again, Beerus is kind of selfish in general. So treat the character as the character. Now, I'm not going to be super comfortable with these build suggestions, but I am going to give you a build suggestion on the team specifically. Okay, pause. Ugh, goodness. I apologize. Give me a second here. So now I'm actually going to connect my phone. Oh. Hold on. Dark Link came through. Hold on. If the person that was questioning my dodge luck, if anybody is still in chat, which I doubt it, because I'm not really looking too much right now. Do you want to see how poor my dodge luck is? I'm going to show you how poor my dodge luck is. This is my clip. This is my clip. Dark Link pulled this up. Okay, I didn't dodge 2 times in a row, but the point is, my freaking Shin got killed from the super attack. 90% chance to dodge, I couldn't dodge it. 90% chance. It wasn't even a serious fight, bro. It wasn't even a serious fight. This has not been a serious fight in a minute. It's like dodge, dodge, and then super attack, and screw you. Okay? So, yeah. You could say my dodge luck sucks a little bit. This is definitely not the only instance I've ever shown anybody. But anyways. That was my son, by the way. That's my baby boy. Yeah, he's a cute boy. Love my son. Anyways, I'll be real with you, Dark Link. Every single time I stream, I just assume that I have like 2 people in chat and then everyone else isn't here. Oh, hey, Salvador. How you doing, Salvador? I haven't seen you in a minute, Sal. Hope you're doing all right, man. It's been a hot minute. I have not logged in today. Excuse me. I have not logged in today. A lot in the gift box, though. 20 stones, woo! Alright, here, let's see. Yeah, I was trying several teams out with him. Where's the other one? That was one team I was trying. was trying to see if I could actually like have him just chilling on a team, but the problem with him just being on a team and not actually the Shen failing, I can't believe it. I told you, man, my dodge luck sucks. I don't understand. I keep trying to give bro. You know what the worst part about this is? You know what the worst part about this is? I gave him so much dodge, bro. I gave bro so much dodge. I gave him so much dodge, man. You don't understand. I gave him as much dodge as I possibly could. The only thing I haven't given him is a level 7 silver, okay? He's full dodge. I even gave him one of my last level 2 freaking dodge bronze orbs. So he gets a little bit of push there. But he still did not dodge, okay? It's not like he was like 55. No. Bro is literally freaking... I think I'd been more insulted if one of his links gave him dodge and he still didn't, because that would have been actually insane. But you'll never get his links off anyways. But yeah. That finger might as well be a middle finger that he's throwing up there. Anyways. Yeah, I was trying to think of teams to be rocking with him, and every now and again I run into a couple issues, and it's usually with floating other characters that I have the issue. Because like I said, Beerus is pretty freaking selfish. He's pretty selfish. So every time I rock this cat, in the immortal words of Gordon Ramsay, not good enough, need more. Need more. Oh, I'm all out of tea. That's unfortunate. It is getting pretty late. That would be why I'm out of tea. That would be why I'm out. That's how I know the night is getting to the point where I need to get thinking about the end of it, because when you're out of tea, man, you're out of tea. Been out of water for a minute, man. Go get some water. Go get some freaking water. Go get H2O. Everybody go get H2O. I even have another cup of water right here. Always have extra water, man. Always have extra water. What kind of tea were you drinking? I swear I've said it several times. It is... Hold on a second. Where did I put this stupid thing? I'm still freaking... Focus. Focus. Or are you not focusing? Focus. Okay. The reason why it's all weirded out right now is because I technically have like green screen settings on my camera. So ignore that. But it's decaf blackberry sage. I get mine from Tea Republic. The Republic of Tea. No, it's not a sponsor. No, I don't make money off of that. But yeah, honestly, not that bad of tea. Could be better. Unbleached tea bags. It's probably not the greatest tea in the world, but they give it in a nice container that you can actually, like, you can reseal it up and everything. But yeah, blackberry. It's actually very good. Very good. Ignore that my house is gross. But yeah, it says tea for... Once again, this is part of the reason why I don't use my webcam anymore, because it just is, it has terrible focus. There's no focus on this thing. The focus is terrible. I need a new one. But yeah, it's like tea for wisdom, decaf blackberry sage, Republic of Tea. Yeah, Republic of Tea. Oh, there it finally decided to focus. In the butt. Yeah, 50 tea bags. Yeah, not the best tea, not the worst tea. Could be better. That was me hitting my cup. Had to make sure that it was okay. The green screen setting on the tea containers. Trying to see if I have another green I have anything green? Hold on. No. This is an Xbox Yu-Gi-Oh game. That's just fun. Because it's just green screening around it. Iris is watching you. It's peeking around the freaking corner. That's just funny. Woo! That is so weird. Do I have anything else? What else do I have green? I do not have a lot of green, do I? Yeah, I don't have a lot of green. Welcome back, Wolf. But yeah. I don't have a lot of green. Surprising. Anyways. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it was glowing green for like a second. Pragmata? Yeah, there's my Xbox copy of Pragmata. Just so funny with the green screen. Anyways. Let's turn off the webcam. Stop exposing all of my secrets. Honestly, this is the most comfortable team I have actually, like, made with Beerus right now, but it's not the only team. Oh, wait, I had it. Hold on a second. It's like in third page? I think it's the third page. Usually the third page. Had another team. Where is it? Might have changed it recently. I think it was that team. It might have been that one. The only problem with this team, and the reason why I didn't want to suggest it, was because of Vegeta here. Vegeta doesn't work, because freaking if you want to attempt to run Champa, he's extreme. If you want to attempt to run Vegeta, he is also extreme. So it totally hurts having the super easy A Vegeta on the team. Because, well, freaking this. It's this part. You either have to be fighting an extreme class enemy, then it's fine. Otherwise, you have to have a full super class team. At that point, that's where it becomes a pain. Because we got a lot of fights with super class enemies. Heck, the seriously serious fight is both super types. But as of recently, they've been constantly giving us super fights. So you can use him. It's fine. It's just, it would probably be better to not, unless you're fighting an extreme type enemy. So, let's just remove this random demon frickin' team. Also, I found it very hilarious. Everyone's like, why is Beerus super type? I mean, it's not the first time he's had a super type. There's been several times bro's been super. You could add Goma, but I don't really like the idea of Goma. There's not really any reason to be adding successors. See, because next week, the only thing we're all going to be doing is this. Like, next week, it's not going to matter. Everyone's going to be rocking Whis next week. Bro's going to be on the team right away. 100%. 100%, I'm telling you. He's going to be on the team. Because, I mean, he's already got a 70% chance to dodge. He's already got 80% right now. If they don't increase his dodge on his EZA, I'm going to call horse crap. It's at least going to go up by 10%. For whatever reason. They're going to add something to it. Like, they'll probably actually do it right here. They're probably going to be like, when there's an ally whose name includes Beerus attacking in the same turn, they'll probably give him another 10%. Which will give him 90% in total with this new Beerus. That's just my assumption, though. And he's probably going to get some support buffs or something for every attack evaded, etc., etc. But yeah, Bro's going to be on the team. How have I not link leveled you? Well, you're going onto the link level team, that's for sure. Yeah, and then this fool's going to be going onto the team. He also currently has a, what is it, 50? Yeah, he's got a 50% chance of dodging right now. So I won't be too surprised if they raise it to 60 some way. And then Beerus would give them a 70%. So I don't think that that one's going to go too high onto the dodge scale, but I think it will be just enough to hit the 70 range. But why? Why would you want to run Gamma? Excuse me. Why would you want to run Gamma? I love him too, but he doesn't have much of a purpose. Yeah, he's not even supporting anybody. Yeah, because he only supports superheroes and artificial life forms. Beerus might be a super type, but he's definitely not a superhero. So he's not even getting the support because Orange Piccolo and Orange Piccolo. Okay. He's just like, because I want every excuse. That's why. That's it. Don't question my madness. Every now and again. It's been a hot minute, man, okay? Anyways. I think with a team like this, can you take advantage of the support with this right here? Can we take advantage of the support with this? No, it's for future Saga allies, right? So no, there would be no support there. Guaranteed dodge versus everyone except Goku's because he can bite him. Why not? Why not? Come on, Jeppy, what are you doing, man? Jeppy is not a good producer unless we get that. I'm not even gonna lie. Terrible producer. 0 out of 10 unless we actually get that, because that would be freaking hilarious. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Probably not gonna happen though. Definitely not gonna happen. That'd be too crazy. Anyways, let's see here. So everyone and their grandmother and grandparents and deceased and second twice removed is going to be making sure Fizz UI is on there. So I'm just going to throw them onto there no matter what. Everyone's going to be wanting to run Int UI, but I'm trying to think of a more centered team. See, the problem with successors is that there's just not much here. There's not much here for specifically synergy. I constantly argue about synergy all the time and nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. Everyone's just like, oh, he can go onto the team. He can go on a team. Man, I don't give a crap that bro's on the leader skill. I want synergy, dang it. What amount of synergy is with a monkey and a cat? Okay? There's not really any synergy between a monkey and a cat. Alright? There's just not. Tails. Alright, fair enough. Fair game. I set the bar too low on that one. Fair enough. But yeah. My point is I need links. I want links, bro. I want links. I need links. The problem with Beerus in general is the Link department. There's no offense, Dark Link. No offense, Celtic Link. There's just a lack of Link synergy. So when I say synergy, I mean the links, because you can find plenty of Realm of God support. It's fine. Realm of God support is what it is. But the links do matter, okay? Links do matter. And there ain't much here. You could throw Goma on there. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, throw Goma on there. It's whatever. It is what it is. You ain't getting a single one of these off except for Fierce Battle. It's just not gonna happen. So, like, it's just always my biggest pet peeve with it. It just really is. It's my biggest pet peeve when building a team is like, I want a purpose to every unit, and I want synergy on the teams that I make. If I don't have both of those going, I don't like the team. I can't do it. Leoper, new subscriber. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, dude. Appreciate you. But yeah, freaking, I need links. It's like the second that this Beerus hit the playing field, soon as bro hit the field, everyone's just like, oh, he gives extra damage reduction to everybody. Like, cool. Yeah, this guy can have 80% damage reduction before attacking. I don't give a crap, bro. He's so freaking weak at this point, it doesn't even matter. Not to mention he can't even stay on the same rotation as the other beers, so it's like, it doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant. And not to mention you can't link them together. Okay. Hold on a sec. I apologize. I'll be right back. My cat is about to eat my leg. She is so mad at me. She is so mad. She is so mad. I'm going to show you my cat real quick. She's staring at me. She's just staring at me. She's like, will you feed me, please? Which is fair. Which is fair. So I'm gonna go feed her. I'll be right back. There you go. I'm okay. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so bring sleepy beers. Bro is crazy. I pick new God Goku. I can already use the Aurizon, but I don't know which ones are the best. We actually just recorded Godku's stuff earlier in the stream. If you wanted to just rewind back to taking a look at that, you can rewind the stream a little bit. Otherwise, I'm gonna have the video uploaded tonight, and it should hopefully go live within a few hours. So, because I'm not gonna be streaming for too much longer, my throat's getting destroyed. I actually do have throat issues, ironically. Yes. And my tea's all gone, so there goes soothing my throat. You are so brave and bold to be wanting to use Goma and Carnival Rose. I mean, you could, sure. Are they gonna survive? Doubtful? I don't know, man. I'm not really sure on that whole thing, because I mean, you still do need more extreme units to be working with Rose. So, I mean, you do you though. But yeah, yeah, I'm trying to. Still never got Goma. I'm sorry. Goma is nice. I feel like he has such a short timer for me. Like, he's good for the first several turns, and he has a really big payout for with his active, with his giant form. Essentially, you get a free turn. There's just a certain drop-off point, and then it just kills me. You didn't hear that. Anyways, what was I saying? Team synergy. Right, team synergy. There's just not a lot of team synergy. If I had Beerus, you bet I would do crazy stuff, but instead I'll do crazy stuff with Gohan and Camo 1. Do it. Because, yeah, there's plenty of successors on the team, but honestly, I think the part that really takes me away from using a lot of random units with Beerus is the fact that he's not truly a slot 1 unit, because otherwise I would throw this Beerus on the team, but he can't go into slot 1, and slot 3 he's not going to stack enough. So there's just certain instances where if he was a slot 1 unit, I would be more comfortable with some units being on the team. Because when you take away the links, that's the problem I have. And if you float one Beerus and you keep another Beerus on rotation, then it hurts Link's when he ends up on rotation again. Though that's an interesting premise, though. Can you imagine? You float off one Beerus and Beerus ends up on the same rotation, so you end up having both the damage reductions. Actually, that would be busted. You end up on a rotation where you have Beerus and Champa sitting on the same rotation, and then you have double Beerus. So you'd have 20% damage. It'd be like freaking, it's Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku all over again, essentially. Where is Champa? Isn't Champa labeled? Yeah, he's labeled as a successor. Yeah, you could technically do it, but the other Int Beerus ends up hurting because of it. Yeah, that was another suggestion I already had on one of the other teams, was what I was talking about earlier. Where is he? Yeah, there, right there. He technically works. He can be a little bit tanky at first, and then of course at the worst case scenario you can flip-flop out with Gogeta and get a little bit of support there. But once again, there's not really too much synergy, but it is what it is. It's just something you can do. I think this team could technically work come next week, once we get the Easy A, Super Easy A's. I think it can definitely work. That's not a good name for that. I don't even know what to name that. Yeah. Why didn't that work? There we go. I mean, Golden Free, maybe Ultra Vigilant. Yeah, no, definitely not super easy A-Beerus. Super easy A-Beerus actually has horrendously low, he has horrendously low defense. You think he doesn't, but he actually has really low defense. And he actually only has 60% damage reduction, and then 70% with this other Beerus. He'd end up being a slot 3 floater. He does have guard, but I'm pretty confident, if I remember right, his defense doesn't even, like, eclipse 2 million. I would have to... I mean, we could do a test run, but I don't think it's enough, is what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that, yeah. I was like, what the heck? I mean, honestly, the only way you're actually getting every bang for your buck with Beerus is if you lead with him. I hate to say that, I really do. But you're not going to see him in the best limelight unless you just actually use him as a leader. I don't know, Dark Link. I think you are pretty crazy. I think you are pretty crazy enough to do that. I'll be honest with you. I think you're pretty crazy enough to do that. I think you are pretty crazy enough to do it. I think you're a little bit of a madman enough. I could see it happening. I'll be honest, I would give it a shot if I had a level 11 bronze. If I decked this fool out on higher level equips, I would consider trying to do it. Maybe not slot 1. I don't think I'd do it slot 1. But I would attempt to use him potentially. Attempt to. It just would suck because, like I said, I would still rather him be like slot 3 and then you're keeping both Beeruses on rotation. But then that sucks because then you're keeping him in slot 1. That's the ultimate pain with this Beerus, is that you want him to be in slot 1, but majority of the time, unless your RNG is just crazy, you don't. That's the hardest part with this Beerus. But yeah. Let's say I don't even think I am not wasting this. This is the only dual orb I have gotten, by the way. I'm not wasting that on them. Yeah, I only have level 8. Nah, bro, that's the, like I said, this is the only one. This is the only one I have gotten. All my extra stamina does not go into link leveling. Screw link leveling. Nobody gives a crap about link leveling anymore. No, you grind the crap out of the Whis event because that's all that matters. Screw your power level. Screw your power level. What equipment do you have? Screw your freaking power level, man. I want better equipment. But yeah, I don't got any good defense equips, like at all whatsoever. Woo, 600. 400, woo. I do have this level 8 defense dodge orb for him right there. It's the only one I have, though. I would rather give this to Tech UI when he easy A's. I'm saving this for Tech UI when he easy A's. Because when he does, whenever the heck that happens, this will be so good for Tech UI. Whenever the heck that they decide to do that. That is being saved. It's the only one I have for him. Screw power level. How many level 11s and dual gold skill orbs you got for real? For frickin' real, man. You want to flaunt? Flaunt your level 11s. I have none. I have none. I got none, bro. I got none. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I can pull up different types. Nope. 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 see here. Nope. 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 Oh, there's a level 11. I thought I didn't think I honestly had one, but I guess I have one for extreme. I don't even know who I would give this to. Omega? I think Omega actually already has one. Didn't Omega already have one? I thought I gave him a level 11. No, I gave him a level 9. Even he I would question right now. I'd almost rather give it to freaking Vegeta, but I constantly juggle back and forth between giving Vegeta attack and defense orbs, so. I was about to say, I get a lot of STRs. Not 11s, just in general. Oh, I got an extreme level 11 attack orb. Well, so far that's 2. So far that's 2. Who would I even give it a level attack? I guess I would give it to freaking Goma. I just only have one with 1 dupe. It's just barely making up for lack of dupes. That is the only reason I haven't done it. Welcome to the pain of Whis event. Yeah, extreme AGL is so terrible. At least for damage dealing. Nope, still nothing there. Nothing on AGL. Let's see. Nope. 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 Is there an easier way to check your level 11s, or am I doing this the freaking hard way? I honestly have never taken the chance to check in any other form. Nope, I got nothing. Alright, Blazer, have a good day and a good night, man. Appreciate you. Team. Items. Skill orbs. Yeah, well, there you go. That's all I got. That's all I got. What about level 8s? Oh, okay. Well, we got a little bit more level 8s. I guess the ones up top are the only ones that matter, really. I want for Super Fizz. Dang, you know, if only there was one specific freaking unit that would get his freaking super easy A already, as if they shouldn't have already done it. I actually might be using this pretty soon, actually. Now that I think about it, I might actually be giving this to the LRSTR Whis. I might actually be giving that to them. Very hard to say, though. I don't even know if I'll ever give that to anybody. Super int with crit? With crit? Yeah, they removed the bronze. They removed the bronze for skill orbs. It's actually the reason why all of the silver and golds go up to level 7 and 8 now. Because it just makes up for the loss of the bronze slot. It just makes up for the loss that you could get out of there, but then they give you some extra stats to go along with it. So, but yeah, if you played the game beforehand, you might still have some level 2s and so forth and henceforth from before. I still have quite a few, mostly garbage, but most of the time these aren't even going to do me any good. I'm just holding on to them on the excessively, like really low odd chance that they eventually allow us to actually like combine our equipment. Like imagine all these level 1s you can just turn into level 2 or 3s just because you fuck words I shouldn't be using. Just imagine they actually let you fuse equipment together so you can make higher level ones. I'm like holding off on that. It's the only reason I don't get rid of them. Yeah, that's why I don't put them in there anymore. Yeah, that's why I don't. Because you can't get them anymore. They're not obtainable. Speaking of which. Yeah, I only suggest equipment that you can actually acquire. That's the only equipment that I suggest. And at this point, because of how low odds the chances are to actually get anything, I actually don't even suggest the dual orbs because it's not likely you're going to get any. The odds of pulling any good equipment is just so stupidly low. Majority of people that grind this, I promise you they use auto clickers. And they just burn the crap out of their stones and meat and stamina. They just burn it. Because you just get nothing. It is just so bad. The drop rate is so bad. Speaking of bronze, let's see what we get here. Yeah. So This is why I suggest up to level 5, because level 5 still drop pretty periodically, but you don't get a lot of stat ones. And the stat ones you get are pretty low in general. Like, there are very few units I actually suggest full stat equips. Like, the only one recently that I remember is Nappa. Nappa's the only one I would suggest full defense. And that's because he literally is raw defense. But yeah, this is the common occurrency. It's just all luck. So, I could restructure my entire build format into giving suggestions for all of the dual orbs and so forth, but majority of people aren't even going to get them. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, I burn all my stamina in here. I rarely touch anything else. That's the only reason my rank isn't higher right now, too. I promise you my rank would be probably... My rank would probably be 1300 right now, at least. I'd probably be at... Yeah, I'd probably be at least at 1300 right now if I actually had been going and grinding like I should be doing for links. If you're grinding for links right now, you go all the way over here, you're going to get so much stamina. Hold on a sec. I haven't even... Bro. I haven't been grinding any link levels for a minute. Not for a minute. All these guys are already link level 10, so... Oh god, I'm running out of boosted leads. I don't even think you're worth using as a boost all. Yeah, that works. Acquired. What's the most recent ones? Oh, that's right. I just finally grabbed those two. You're not link leveled all the way? Oh my god. It's always one. Always freaking one. Every time. Go with that. I think you actually get a large amount of experience from this. Complaining works. Of course it does. Of course it does, Dark Link. Yeah, auto clickers are freaking annoying. They also burn the crap out of your phone. I know Mass Ningen still actively uses it, and I know a couple other ones I'm not gonna out on. But I mean, Mass Ningen it admits it, but yeah, at this point, there's no shame in using an auto clicker. Just because of how much of a grind it is. Yeah, we got a decent amount right there. Oh, that's why, because we're still at 2 times experience. So yeah, I definitely would have been at freaking 1300 by now. Definitely would have been. Anyways, I went way off topic. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, these are like the only real teams I would really suggest. You can technically just do a Realm of Gods team and just throw them onto there and you'll be fine, I guess. But I don't like it. You can technically just do this. Yeah, you can technically just do this and you'll be fine. The only thing is you end up in a situation where you're just gonna float off Beerus. That's the only thing that sucks with doing a full Realm of Gods. Totally didn't fall asleep. It's okay, I know I'm boring. Yeah, that's the problem. Is it's link partners at the end of the day. It's mostly link partners 100% of the time. What orbs do I have on my Vegito Blue? Probably nothing. I probably removed some. Yeah, I just gave him full dodge. I gave him full dodge and I gave him crit. Because that's his only purpose. Is to literally dodge or die and to do a little bit of damage with his frickin' counters. That was, once again, I don't like attacks effective against all types. If you're new to watching my videos, you'll understand that if I ever see attacks effective against all types, I don't give it any serious thought. It doesn't even register in my brain as a positive. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It is a positive. It is good. It is nice to have. It's just, to me, when I want damage, if it's not crit, then it's not the right amount of damage for me. I'm just picky. I'm a picky SOB, all right? I am just picky. So when I talk about my units, I give them a role. Vegito here, his role is to float, support, and not die. The only reason he has crit is because at the time of recording, when I was using him, critical was the better way to go. Now, I would not go crit. I would just go full dodge and frickin' put the rest into additional because he's not doing that much damage. The Gogeta thing, you could not have described it any better than that, Bringer. Could not have described it any better. But anyways. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with these for right now because the only other thing is just going to be waiting for the Super Easy A / Easy A for Beerus. Or for the Whis Beeruses. The Beerus Whises. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I estimated that it was like literally around 6th anniversary. I think it was actually 7th. I just did not give a crap against attacks effective against all types. I stopped caring. But as soon as it hit the 8th and even the 9th anniversary, I was like, dude, why does anyone even care about this? Like, I kept seeing people going like crazy over it, and I'm just like, dude, it's not that good. Why are you thinking it's that good? You could be doing so much more damage. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. But it wasn't even until recently that people really were like, yeah, no, crit does matter. But even now, people still think attack effective against all types is just that good. And I'm just like, no, it's not. It's not doing enough, bro. It's not. It does something, but it's not enough anymore. It's just not enough. It's just normal damage to me. On top of crit, with attacks effective against all types, yeah, it's fine. But when it's just attack effective against all types, no, I don't give a crap. I just don't care. Anyways, once again, rambling. Okay. I need to finish this video. I'm going to finish this video, and then I'm going to stop the music, and we're going to chat for like 5 minutes, maybe 10 because I ramble. And then that'll be it for the stream, and I got to go to bed. It is Mother's Day tomorrow, so I got a lot of stuff to do to make sure Mrs. Saiyan is nice and comfortable and doesn't have to do anything. So, let's go ahead and get this done and over with. Unpause. Alright, so I do have a couple team suggestions here. They're not going to be crazy, especially right now at the direct time of recording. This is part of the reason why I actually was very hesitant about recording right away on these, is because Beerus, at least Beerus specifically, has a I like me and I don't like anybody else problem. His problem is that he absolutely wants to have Whis on the team, and he wants to be able to fulfill these two large, crazy amounts of support, which only apply to himself, Champa, and then the dodge part for Whis. That's it. That's all that it is. So the fact that you can't currently, at the time of recording, make a team that actually surrounds him with this support, it takes away from the actual, like, craziness that this support can be. Imagine that they release another Champa, or the Easy A or Super Easy A, another Champa. It's just going to make him so much better. Every single Whis unit that gets an Easy A or releases is immediately going to have more stonks with this Beerus. And even other Beeruses are going to have more stonks being a part of this team, just because of the extra 10% damage reduction, because of the extra 10% dodge chance. And if you argue and say that it doesn't matter that much, you're wrong, because AGL Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku exists in the game and literally is still relevant right now, at least to a degree, because of that extra support. The extra support from the damage reduction and dodge does matter. And right now, it is very difficult to make a team right now. Next week, this team will be perfectly fine to a degree. This team will be perfectly fine. You double lead with Beers. You got STR Weiss, who I mind you already has 70% damage reduction. Upon easying, he's either going to have some crazy support, or he might even get another 10% dodge chance. Did I say damage reduction? I meant to say dodge. He has 70% dodge chance, and it has 80% dodge just being next to this Beerus. If you float off a Beerus and then have this Beerus on rotation with this Weiss now has 90% damage or 90% dodge chance. So, I mean, the fact that we're waiting on these super easy A's to be good, or hopefully they will be good, this can change and make this team very good, runnable, and awesome. Especially if they're actually supporting a whole crap ton, because this guy already has huge amounts of stonks to stay on rotation with Beerus. Beerus is literally a smidgen away from being slot 1 able, and he just needs a crap ton of support and to have enough additionals from the previous turn to be in slot 1. He just needs a little bit bigger of support, and he can actually stay in slot 1. I already have had several instances where this boy can stay in slot 1. Mind you, I have 2 dupes, and I focused up on additional. But the point is that I have had many instances where he can be in slot 1 safely and be perfectly good to go. It just depends on the support, and it depends on the link partners activating every single freaking link with this Champa being right next to him in slot 2. And even if you're not willing to put him in slot 1, you have other slot 1 options like this physical Evo Omen, Omen Evo, UI Evo, whatever you want to call him, as a slot 1 capable unit. And then you have other options such as putting this guy in slot 1 at least for a couple appearances. You have the new Vegeta, corrupted Saiyan God, whatever you want to call it, Ultra Villain Vegeta, as a slot 1 potential option after you actually awaken him. You don't even have to keep him on a normal, like, double Beerus team. You don't have to do that. You can run double Fizz Omen Evo and you'll be perfectly fine. If you do decide to throw this Vegeta on the team, just keep in mind, be wary if you use the Ultra Villain Vegeta and Champa as their extreme types. And bro right here wants full super class on the attacking rotation. So only take him along if you are fighting a extreme class enemy. That way you can still get the full brunt of his passive. But yeah, other than that, it's just basically throwing him on Realm of Gods right now. He doesn't really have too many other homes to go on to. He just is what it is. I really do feel like the second that we get more easy A's and more right here just from these two, this is immediately going to be a lot more fun unit and a lot better looking team. So those are just going to be my suggestions for teams. They're very light suggestions right now, and it's more thinking about it moving forward. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully some of the tips and suggestions actually helped you out. Do let me know what you decided to go with Beerus. Did you go full dodge, or did you actually lean in and go a little bit more with full additional to get more stacks off? And what teams are you running him with? Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day and a good night. Okay. And that video is done. Finally, the video is done. I can stop this freaking music because it's been playing for the last freaking hour and I want to rip my eardrums out. Okay. I ramble. A lot. Mostly because I have no one else to talk to about Dokkan, at least not vocally. I think I scream at Dark Link and Jin and Celtic and a couple of people. But the reason I go on tangents is because I'm like offloading every bit of information from my brain. I'm just crazy. Cuckoo. Cuckoo for the Cocoa Puff. Cuckoo. Anyways. Let me see if I can get some better music in here. We'll go back to this. Increase the volume a little. There we go. Okay. So, we do need to talk here. We do need to talk. We do need to talk. Just a little bit. We need to talk a little bit. I know, I dragged it out for the entirety. For the entirety of the freaking stream. I really did. I apologize. The entirety of the video. Yeah. So here's the thing. And no, I don't mean frickin' the thing from frickin' Fantastic Four. I'm so tired of that joke, and I swear to Christ, Rogue, if you're in here, I'm gonna scream. Where's my face cam? Hold on. We need to get actually real for a second. There we go. So, it's clobbering time. Man. My throat is so trash just from normally talking that I actually have to regularly have falls. That's not a joke. Can you take me more seriously now? We need to talk, yeah. So, if you look at my channel, if you go look at my channel, hold on. I have a video on there. Should be the first thing that pops up when you go to my channel. Of course, it doesn't show it right now because, well, obviously I'm streaming, so it just pops it up right away. The first video that pops up in here is... I don't even think it's gonna, like, pop up. Probably a freaking song name or something. There it is. So, when you go to my channel, the first thing you see should be the I need to say something video. This video is 2.3K views. It's a year old. Posted in 2025, January. And it was meant to be telling people what I wanted to originally do. Was to just make Dragon Ball content. I started off with Dokkan and several other things. I had talks with my... I can actually... Hold on a sec. Let's actually go to my videos and look at my oldest. These were my first videos. These were my first videos right here. They were not all just straight up Dokkan. I was doing Let's Plays for Dragon Ball Fusions. I freaking data mined and uploaded the pretty much, I want to say, the first upload of freaking Fusion's OSTs. And I wanted to continue that. But there was a problem in that around the time of when I was getting the groove and I wanted to keep going, I had life issues and I couldn't keep going and I couldn't record what I wanted to record. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I ended up just defaulting to Dokkan because it was just a quick little mobile game, and I thought I would eventually go back and do other stuff, and then that didn't happen. I had to quit because I had to sell my computer at the time. I had talks with my buddy about gaming. What I'm doing now is not what I wanted to do. I did not want Dokkan to be the #1 thing. I did not. I did not want it to be. Not whatsoever. Not at all. So I appreciate the 10,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one. Every single one of you. Even though I started off with like 2. But I don't want to keep doing Dokkan. And yeah, for the people that just subscribed, I apologize. I'm not going to stop doing Dokkan like straight off like that. I'm not going to stop, you know. I'm not going to like go cold turkey and just screw everybody over and be like, "Oh yeah, nope, I'm just going to stop now." No, I'm not going to do that. I've lost my interest in the game. My only interest in the game at this point is doing the builds for you guys and, well, FOMO. That's pretty much it. In all given honesty, that's it. It's literally just FOMO now. That's all it is. It's FOMO and you guys. If it wasn't for you guys wanting to watch and always subscribers commenting, if it wasn't for literally the history of freaking doing this for the last year and a half now and it actually going well, then I would have already stopped. I wouldn't give a crap. I would have just flat out said, "Screw it, I'm done, game over." The game bores me. It's a gacha game. I used to, once upon a time, would say Dokkan is one of the most free-to-play friendly games, gacha games that you could play. And it was. I can't say that anymore. It's not free-to-play friendly. It's not. It's now leaned more into an actual gacha game. Gacha game. And by that, I mean they are almost insisting that you have to summon every single time. They're insisting that you have to do things right away and not take your time. It's literally turned more into FOMO than it has been through the first half of its lifespan. And it just, you can argue and say, yeah, oh, well, the Rose team is super free-to-play friendly, and, you know, the new Daima free-to-play units are super free-to-play friendly. I'm like, no, they're not. The new Daima units are not tanking 10 to 12 million supers. And mind you, the Daima free-to-play units aren't even good without having double Forku and the extra guard from freaking Daima Vegeta. The Rose units are not good whatsoever without having that extra support from STR Rose at all anymore. There's a reason that jump was so big when they released them, because they needed to be that good. It's no longer that free-to-play friendly. Jay Fanta, if you didn't know who Jay Fanta was, that dude used to be on the map at all points of time. He was a free-to-play dude. Free-to-play. constantly free to play. That was his whole gimmick. That's been his whole gimmick, was full on free to play. He was a free to play player for Dokkan, and he did great. And he was doing majority of the whole freaking game with just straight free to play units. And for all I know, he still does. But if you didn't notice, he's not really playing anymore. He's not really uploading anymore. And it's because the game is no longer free to play friendly. I shouldn't be able to casually scroll slowly, and he's got freaking stuff from 3 months ago. It's just, he used to be regular. It's not free to play friendly anymore. If J Fanta can't make it free to play friendly anymore, then it wasn't free to play friendly at all. It's just not. So, the credit I used to give Dokkan, I can't give it anymore. And I've sunk so much money into this game that it's no longer at an acceptable amount that I can put that in because I have a son. I have a baby boy. I have a family. And I don't do this for the money, I mind you. I don't have a YouTube channel because of money. I don't expect to make money. But at the same time, I can't not, I can't keep putting in money into Dokkan and going on a negative. I am fortunate enough that Mrs. Saiyan and I, in our normal day jobs, make enough money to be fine and to be frivolous to a degree. The amount of money I've poured into Dokkan could be into my son. It could be into a better, healthier life. It could be in better equipment. This microphone you see right here, I have had this microphone since I started. Since day one. Let me see if I can frickin' hold my frickin' face up real quick and see if it'll actually, zoom in on the microphone enough. Yeah, I used to actually have hair, by the way. I used to have hair. I think it was, yeah, right here. Right here. There's my buddy. There's the same microphone I'm using right now, right there. Shout out, pour one out to Scalebound, by the way. Pour one out to Scalebound. But I'm using the same freaking mic from nearly a decade ago. A decade ago. It's 10 years, guys. It's 10 years. And why? Because I'm addicted to a gacha game and I put way too much money into it. The point I'm trying to get across isn't that I'm not happy with the subscribers, and I'm not happy with the live streams. It's not that I'm not happy with the people I've made friends with or anything, and I'm not quitting. I'm not doing that. I don't want to keep doing just Dokkan. I don't want to keep doing this crap. This takes up so much of my time. It takes up so much time. It takes up so much of my time. I have all of my graphics all laid out in layouts. They're just straight up layouts. I have it organized to a way that I can minimally get things done very quickly. But literally, if I had wanted to get the Beerus and Godku video up, I would have had to stay up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I wouldn't have been able to go to work the next day because I couldn't. I'd be exhausted. And right now, I'm destroying my throat right now. My throat's gonna be dead tomorrow. Like this ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. So, the point I'm trying to get across here is that I'm saying that I appreciate every single freaking person that watches. I appreciate every single subscriber. I appreciate every single friend, viewer, commenter that I've seen and met along the way. But I don't want this to be a focus anymore. I don't. And because I'm not going to treat it like a focus, and because you can already see the decline already, you can actually see the decline a little bit. And it's just because I don't post it like that. It's just because of that. It's just because I don't post it right away. The fact that I've been waiting a couple days between every single one of these lowers the amount of views. The Goku Vegeta got freaking 5,000 views. The Seiza Majin Vegeta got freaking 3,000 views. I was trying to get those out like day one, if not the next morning. After that, I've been slowly just been doing it every other day, waiting a couple days. And the truth is that the Dokkan community relies heavily on freaking views being right on day one, right on the very second that it's typed in, and then it gets searched, and that's it. That's how you get views on here. The only way I have actually been okay with continuing this is because YouTube would give me a small lump sum just from views, of course, and I put it back into the game. But now, because Dokkan has become even worse than it already was, and is much more dupe reliant, like it is so dupe reliant. It is so dupe reliant that I refuse to summon for God Goku right now. I refuse. And it doesn't mean that God Goku's a bad unit. He's a fine unit. There's nothing wrong with him. You can go ahead and use him. But because I know for a fact I'm only going to get a 55% freaking copy, he's not worth using to me. Not to me. Not to me. I know exactly how I want to build my units. I know exactly what teams I want to use. And it's slowly getting to a point where I can no longer have fun with the units unless they have dupes. This has now happened 2 or 3 times in a row, I want to say. I want to say this has happened now 2 or 3 times in a row where I have to get dupes in order to enjoy a unit or the game. This dude is one of those instances, this Vegeta. The difference that this Vegeta performs at 55% versus having 1 or 2 dupes, actually 2 dupes, is very vast. There's just a huge amount of difference when you calculate it all down to the number. There's a huge difference. It's even more so for this Majin Vegeta. Nobody likes this Majin Vegeta. They don't use Majin Vegeta. 99% of the people that got this unit, they switch immediately to Goku and throw him into slot 1 and hope he dodges that 75% dodge chance. Cool. That's so boring. Especially when Majin Vegeta stacks up aggressively and does a crap ton of damage. He performs so well, but you need him to have dupes. You need him to have dupes. Don't even get me started on how much I dislike this unit. Even with dupes, I dislike this unit. The point I'm trying to get across here is that I want more time to actually make what I want to make, instead of this. I'm just getting too old for it. I'm just getting too old for it. I want to make what I want to make, and I don't want to be screwed over doing something that I don't like. If you're doing something that doesn't make you happy, but you're doing it for money, then it's a job. It's just a job. It's just a job. And that's what Dokkan has turned into for me. It's a job that doesn't pay. It just doesn't pay. So, I'm not going to outright quit Dokkan or anything like that. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep playing. It's just going to be a lot more casually. I'm going to keep playing. I've played frickin' for 10 years. Played for 10 years. I'll keep playing. I'll enjoy it as much as I can. And as a final send-off to the end of this video, and whoever the heck is actually still watching, probably just Dark Link. Or whoever the other 6 people are. I'm going to make one big hidden potential video. I'm going to make one big one. Because moving forward after this, unless it's just super duper dirt easy, all my videos are now just going to be on stream. So I'm going to stream, we're going to talk about the units, and we're going to go ahead and go over their kits, and we'll do it all on stream, and I'll do it even the night of, or the information gets thrown out. We'll talk about it at least, maybe, or I'll wait a couple days right before the release of the unit, and we'll talk about the unit, what its weaknesses are, what its strengths are, where to get their equipment and everything. We'll go through all the data and everything that you get before the release of the bloody unit, which is what a majority of everything gets calculated anyways. And I'll do it all on stream, and we'll talk about it, and I'll post it. I'll still put it in the builds video section. I'll make the thumbnail so everybody knows what it is. I'll still include everything. But I'm probably gonna be a little bit lackluster on a couple other areas of it. Like, I'm probably not going to make full-on graphics. Like, full-on graphics. Because it takes me hours. It takes me hours to make the graphics that I do, and I don't have time for that anymore. Just don't. Not if I want to actually do what I want to do. Because right now, my options are make what makes me happy and have fun, or I quit. It's one of the two. There's no if, and, or buts. See the stack of games? You see all these games? See all this? That's just from, like, random purchases. They're all unopened. I got Pragmata that I've been, like, slowly going at freaking constantly for the last, like, freaking couple weeks now. That game is amazing. I love it. But I could have been done with that game by now. I could have been done easily. I'm not having fun anymore. I have fun when I'm talking to people on stream, but when I stream and have fun with the viewers, that right there is no different from playing a multiplayer game with your buddy. You play Fortnite, you play shooters like Call of Duty and all that. You play with your friends to have fun. You have to have a certain type of mindset to literally solo run a multiplayer game that requires friends or co-op or 2 to 4 players. You have to have a certain kind of mindset to do that. To me, those aren't fun. That's you on the grind because you have something to prove. I don't got nothing to prove. The only thing I want to prove is that I want to prove to my son I can do something that makes me happy and that he can do something that makes him happy. And if people are too young to understand that, well, okay. That's what I got to say to that. But Dokkan's no longer going to be right in front. And I said it once or twice. Actually, I said it several times before, actually. I'm not going to lie. I've said it in the most casual freaking way possible in the past. But I don't mean to have this all readied up. I didn't mean to have this part readied up. But I am going to show you something that hit me a little. It hit me a little bit.
said you were done, but you keep going back. That's what's draining you. Let it go. For real this time. You said you were done, but you keep going back. That's what's draining you. Let it go. For real this time.
And just like that, for real this time. For real this time. So, yeah. Once again, I appreciate everybody that subscribes and watches the videos, and I'm glad that all of the videos have helped you up to this point. And I'll continue to keep making videos, and I'm going to continue to doing streams and doing things that I have fun with, that are fun with you guys, with myself, with my cat, with my son, with my son. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we have to talk about. That's what we got to talk about. That's all we have to talk about. So moving forward, things will be a little simpler, be a little bit more personal, a little bit more fun. For those that want to join me along the way, appreciate you. For those that don't, peace. Hope you all have a good day and a good night. And that's going to be it for the stream, because it is 1:20 in the morning right now where I live, and today is officially Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to anybody that is watching or rewatches at some point, potentially. Go say hi to your moms. I don't have a mom anymore. A little bit self-deprecation there. Hug your mom. Give them the love they deserve. And yeah, that'll be it. I will attempt to get more new stuff up and going as soon as possible. Thank you for your support. Bringer, Dark Link, Wolf, everybody. Celtic, Zero, Rado, Proton, everybody. Thank you. Go have a happy Mother's Day with your moms, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day and a good night, everyone.